Hello, once again, welcome back to the Dragoncast podcast, where we talk about 4 episodes of Dragon Ball and get through the series at a very, very, very slow pace. Although in some cases, in a fast pace, but a lot of times a slow pace because this is a weekly Shonen Jump series, so everything goes really slowly and stuff. So yeah, I'm here. Zion's here. Hey, hello.
Hi. Yep.
We're back again. It's not too long since the last time this time, although we didn't do the weeks. We didn't manage to get it every week this time. Sorry, but we have no strict schedule anymore. We're just
At very least, it hasn't been like a week, or I mean, it hasn't been like a month because because last time I think it was like a few months, and this time it's like what 3 weeks. So,
yeah,
that's not
something
too
like
bad.
that. It's not too bad. Yeah, no, and no one's who's judging us here. All five of you who are listening to the
Right?
intro section. Who's actually judging us?
All 5 of our devoted fans of the Dragon Cast.
Exactly. That thing we can say whatever we want and it doesn't get controversial because nobody's actually listening or nobody cares enough.
All right, so like last week, Gabby,
We died?
we were not dying because oh man, we kind of just
We got
okay. This show
banished
really
to filler
dragged.
hell. Yeah, we essentially
Yeah,
got banished to filler.
like-
Well, it wasn't even filler hell because the stuff
It
with
wasn't- yeah, it wasn't
blue
even filler.
wasn't even filler, and the stuff with Dr. Slump stuff had some filler in it, but it's like it wasn't even filler. It's just like I was just like, why? It's like things are happening, but it doesn't feel like anything is happening. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, like I just like it's so weird too because like the last because I didn't remember the blue stuff being so dragged out, and it sucks too because Blue's a good villain. Like he's so charismatic and fun and evil and he's just like he's a good love to hate him kind of villain, and like he had so much personality going for him, but just like that fucking pirate cave just wouldn't end. Like it's like 8 fucking chapters in the manga, and then they had to pad that out because the manga just doesn't come out fast enough. So they had to like put padding into a thing that was already overstaying its goddamn welcome.
And it's just like,
Oh.
there was filler at the start of this arc, like 5 episodes of filler. There's been filler in the middle of this arc. It's just so much filler. And the problem is, it's like, if it's just filler of characters powering up and stuff, that's one thing. Like, that at least kind of feels like it's almost like in the mood of whatever the hell the series is doing. But here it's just like,
Right.
it's filler where you have to pay attention, but technically you don't have to pay attention because none of this really matters. And they slightly change the order of events, so you've got to like see what's going on, but at the same time you're just kind of like, you feel like you get to the end of it and you're like, well, half of that felt pointless.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And like I am not looking forward to when we get to Namek because I remember the last time I watched the Namek arc, like it was grueling. Like people will talk about, oh man, fake Namek's terrible. I'm like, guys, real Namek was terrible in the anime because fake Namek was like, it was like 3 episodes and like things were constantly happening on fake Namek. You get to real Namek and now we just have to pad out what's here, and it's a lot of just characters sitting around waiting for shit to happen.
I know that some people on Twitter were doing a DBZ rewatch. I think AJ started that. And I know that some people
Yes.
were getting to like the Namek Frieza fight and they were just getting like, they're like, wow, whoa, we really this padded out. Did I really enjoy this back when I was watching this as a kid? Like, how did I even enjoy this? It's just like nothing is happening.
Yeah, I don't know how on like a day-to-day basis, like 5 days a week watching Dragon Ball, like just like, oh man, did you see like what happened last episode? They powered up. Wasn't that cool? Next day, oh man, they punched a few times. God damn it.
And it's like,
It just goes on forever. I don't know how the hell I kept up my excitement in high school, man.
I guess you were just more easily impressed. Dragon Ball's a pretty easy series to get you hyped. Like, it's got that feel to it that not many other shows at the time really had. So I don't know. I'm
True.
coming up with the conspiracy theories here because I never had this
I
experience.
think it was just like it was the beginning of like the anime boom, and I didn't have a lot of things to compare it to. Gundam Wing hadn't come over yet. Outlaw Star hadn't come over yet. Big O hadn't come over here yet. So it was just like, so like this was like, my like my only frame of reference for like what acceptable anime was. Anyhow, speaking of what is and not isn't acceptable in anime, we still got more filler. Woo!
Yeah, so we started Dragon Cast episode 57. We're still in Penguin Village, and it decides to start it off with a just basically more filler. And unfortunately, you know how last time I was saying, the filler isn't that bad because I kind of know these characters, but here it starts to get to the point where I'm just like, okay, yeah, they've lost me. I haven't gotten to this part of Dr. Slump. So, you have a bit of a filler with King Nico-chan and his other thing, those, alien guys, and it's like, yeah, yes. I never got to the part of Dr. Slump where King Nico-chan shows up, so I don't know who he is. So I don't know what his deal is, what his gimmick is. He's just there collecting rubbish. He thinks it's Earth technology. I guess that's the joke, because he thinks rubbish is, high tech, but it's actually just trash. But, then there's...
Yeah.
The one thing is, the one piece of filler I was I kind of understood is that, then it's it goes back to Akane, and then Akane's talking to Tsukutsun, and then Tsukutsun is this Chinese martial arts guy. So she's she's like, Goku kind of looks like this martial arts guy. I thought you knew him or something. So that's kind of cute, but
yeah, I was able to pick up on little things like that. What was it? Because I don't have a frame of reference for Dr. Slump, clearly this was very much made with the idea of Dr. Slump was super goddamn popular just a year ago. People are gonna know who these characters are. It was the last big Toriyama series. You guys know who these guys are. And, I imagine, if you're a Dr. Slump fan, this is, all of this filler they're tossing in is just awesome. And it's oh, it's that character, and they're doing that thing, and that thing that they did. Yeah, sure. Man, having no fucking frame of reference for any of this, I'm just fucking bored. And the weird part is, when I first watched it, I wasn't bored because I was just I remember just being all these characters, I have no clue what the fuck's going on, and thinking it was really interesting and cool, but now that mystique has gone away, and 15 years have passed, I'm just fuck, this is boring. I don't know these characters. It's not interesting. Unless you're a Dr. Slump fan.
Yeah, and it's even then, it's because some of this is actually kind of almost plot relevant. So essentially, when Goku goes to Senbei and asks him to fix the Dragon Radar, then Senbei doesn't know how to fix it, but then his kid Turbo does it. I didn't get to the part of Dr. Slump where Turbo shows up. I don't know who Turbo is, or why he can fly and can talk even though he's a baby and has psychic powers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If I remember correctly, like I said, I watched, what was it, the first two Dr. Slump movies. The second one was really long and weird, and his love interest was some sort of alien princess. It was weird.
I don't think that's where Turbo comes from. I'm pretty sure Turbo was just a normal kid, a normal baby, and then some accident happened, and then suddenly he's super smart and can fly and all that kind of stuff. So I think something.
I
but
no
I didn't.
Clue.
Yeah, I never read the chapter when that happens, or what even he does in the series.
Yeah, because from where all I've seen of Dr. Slump, I've never even seen Senbei married. So.
Yeah,
so the fact that
I think it's a late. I think it's
married.
a late. It's a late thing, I think.
Yeah, I have to say, it's a really interesting thing that this kind of episodic, comedy series actually had an overarching kind of narrative to it, where Senbei actually does change as a character.
I don't think it necessarily is like that. I think it's just in one chapter, it's he kind of accidentally proposes, and then to the person that he's had a crush on the whole time, and then she actually says yes, and then they just get married, and then at that point the story is okay, and now they're married, and then they have a kid. That being said, there's one part as well in this where I recognized it, and that's when the they had this whole story, this filler plot line about the police forces think that the Red Ribbon Army are invading and they need to like fight them off.
Yeah.
And so like the police force has a whole bunch of guys and then this one girl who just shoots all the time. And I do remember her because she's from one of the earlier chapters where it's like they're like being held captive or something, and then the police force come, and the police are like trying to help, and then this one girl is just like thinks that every opportunity is a chance to shoot, and I'm just like, I liked it because back then I thought it was like, oh my god, it's like a proto launch, and it kind of is,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's one thing. I'm just like, guys, I'm cool. See, I have Dr. Slump cred. I know some characters.
You got more cred than I do in this field. I know that much. Like I said, I read a chapter and I've watched one movie and then like 2/3 of another movie that I fell asleep during. So yeah, that is my Dr. Slump experience, and wasn't a whole lot. So yeah, okay. Something I wanted to mention is something that actually did get like kind of like a chuckle out of me was at the very beginning of the episode when Senbei is working on the Dragon Radar. And he's just like, of course I can fix it. And when he does that, like he does like that face morph thing where he's like all handsome and stuff instead of being a fat schlub.
Yeah.
And Goku just like, what the fuck? Like he just has this reaction of just like, what the hell's wrong with that guy's face?
I think the exact words he says is like he thinks that he's like a yokai. It's like, it's like a like evil spirit thing. Then the subs translated to like goblin, but I'm like, hey, no, he says yokai because I know what a yokai is. Kind of. I have nerd cred. Everybody like me.
I know they are vaguely related to watches and kind of like Pokemon.
No, they're like real. They're like real mythological things. Like
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, damn it!
I was making
sorry,
a joke.
I didn't pick up the sarcasm.
But yeah, so yeah, like, God, there's just so much filler with the characters though. Like, you have like the cop shows up at the diner, like, oh my god, the Red Ribbon Army's here, and then there's like the cops, gearing up, and there's like, like the crazy shooty one that you were talking about, and like during this whole thing, like, Blue like sneaks up on them, and okay, so something I actually kind of liked, like some of the filler, was the Goku actually like kind of sitting and explaining the Dragon Balls to like Arale. Like I did like that because it was just kind of like a nice little sit down moment of these characters just kind of conversing. I like that. Also, when Goku is just kind of like following Blue like around the house with the Dragon Radar.
I mean, I feel like that bit kind of overstayed its welcome a little bit.
It does.
But one thing I did actually like was then, when he just like asked what Arale would wish for if she had a wish on the Dragon Balls, and she's just like, one of her wishes like, well, one of my wishes is to have my breasts to grow, and I'm like, yep, that's Dr. Slump, all right. Because that's the joke, because Arale is a female robot, but she doesn't have any breasts. And she's like, why don't I have any breasts? Are you going to give me any breasts? And for whatever reason, it doesn't end up happening.
Well, I mean, if you put breasts on a small child, it just gets really creepy. I mean, look at Chi-Chi at the beginning of this series.
I mean, that as well, but it's like, it's like, it's a joke, isn't like, she's asking Senbei why she doesn't have any breasts kind of thing.
Yeah, and then like she goes like, it's like, I'd also wish for such and such. He goes, whoa, you can only have like one wish. It's like, well, why? It's just like, I don't know. Just one wish. I don't. So Blue takes Arale hostage, and Blue like freezes Goku with his psychic powers, and he's like he's gonna go take off with the Dragon Balls, but and the Dragon Radar, but he's gonna go kill Goku first, because he's got to do that, and just Senbei's just like it's just like go play rough with him, go rough play wrestle with him, and Arale just kicks the teetotal shit out of Blue in like 2 hits, and it's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, it's like you know what's going to happen. Like even if you don't know Dr. Slump, just the very fact that it's like he's just like don't move, don't do anything, or I'm going to kill this girl, and everyone's just kind of like just staring there blankly, being like, yeah, no, that's probably not a good idea. This is just like Like you could tell that Toriyama has similar ideas as to what he thinks is cool ideas, and that is one of them is just like, the bad guy, some evil guy trying to like take some kid hostage, and it turns out that kid's like super strong and can like totally kick their ass.
Yeah. So one of the things that they added into the anime I kind of liked is just Arale just starts licking his knife, and he's just like, "Ew, what the hell?" just that freaking reaction, just like, he's sitting there holding a knife to her really seriously, and she's just like, out of curiosity, just starts licking it, and it ends up freaking him out instead.
And yeah, so so basically Senbei's just like, Arale, just go play wrestling, and then she just like, so she comes in, and she basically she comes in. I think this might be I'm telling you this because I think this is a reference, and that she kind of like, she sort of like flies and she goes like, Arale, kick, and then she like kicks him, and I think so. Is that a Kamen Rider reference?
Oh,
because like, they always got like the rider kick, and it's like a very similar pose. So I think that's also a reference, kind of.
I feel like the rider kick is like a standard jump kick. Like she did like a double footed like foot plant to his chest, but it might actually still, regardless, still be a reference.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering.
Because I mean that is like a super popular thing.
Also, one thing I actually noticed, so there's one part in this when they're basically, I think like it's just like some exposition with Senbei, and Senbei's just like talking to Blue, and then I noticed that they hadn't placed the film properly. The film wasn't aligned, and you can actually see like there's a little black space, like a little bit of black in the corner, where it's just like, so it just wasn't actually aligned properly, and I'm like, oh, huh.
Oh. I didn't even notice that.
Oh, I mean, like, I shouldn't have noticed it. Like, it's just like, it was just completely random. I'm just like, wait, why is it? Oh, probably when they had the film up, that part just wasn't aligned properly. But that's another thing.
So yeah, Arale just knocks Blue way into the sky, far, far away. Something I thought was weird is that Turbo is the one that unfreezes Goku. Where before, like, Blue just had to get distracted and Goku was unfrozen. I thought that was a really weird inconsistency.
Is that in the manga? Now I can't remember.
It is. I checked it.
Okay.
I checked.
Okay.
I was reading. I was actually like at work because like I knew we were gonna be doing the Dragon Cast. Like during my lunch break, I like read the chapters that I needed. Needed for these.
You prepared more than I did. Yay!
But yeah, just like Turbo, because before, like, Blue saw a mouse or a rat or whatever, and he got startled, and him breaking his concentration freed Goku. This time, he gets like knocked into a different area code, and fucking Turbo has to be the one to kind of and like undo Goku's like frozen state, and I'm like, I just thought that was a really weird thing that they added in, like, and like I said, it's in the manga, like it's like only 2 panels, and it's really easy to miss, but it's in the manga too, and I'm like, okay, that is a really weird thing to add. I don't know why he just wouldn't have had Goku just be like, oh, okay, cool, I can move again.
Oh no, but I do have to say, I mean, you even see later on, like, Blue's psychic powers are kind of, first of all, they're kind of inconsistent, and second of all, they're just really boring. Like, there's no weakness to it. It's just like, they work or they don't, and it's one thing that just kind of bugs me. It just doesn't. I just don't think it really works at all.
Yeah, like, I don't know why they went the route of, like, he can freeze people instead of, like, I don't know, like, he could, like, use telekinesis to, like,
but I mean, he does use telekinesis for the fucking rope.
Oh, right! Jesus Christ, I forgot! Oh my god, the rope was so fucking stupid! Oh! Oh my god! I blocked it out! I fucking blocked that out! Oh my god.
Oh, I mean, listen, I had to remember the rope because, like, I don't know if it's just because it's been such a while since we watched Dragon Ball last, but I completely forgot why everyone was in here, even in Penguin Village in the first place. Like, I forgot. I was just like, wait, is there a Dragon Ball here, or? But then I was just like, wait, oh, Blue has the Dragon Ball. Wait, why does Blue have the dragon? Oh, right, the rope. When he tied everyone up, he stole the Dragon Balls, and then Goku went after him. But like, somehow I'd completely forgotten about that because it's like, I guess because we just had Penguin Village hijinks. I just kind of forgot that the whole point was we were trying to get the Dragon Balls back from Blue.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Like, it was like, because there's been so much hijinks going on, like there wasn't really like a focus. So yeah, it's easy to forget that after like 3 weeks. But yeah, no, like, oh my god, I completely forgot about that stupid fucking rope. Oh my god, and it's and the rope with the power level higher than Goku. It's so dumb. I hate it. Anyhow, there's some more filler. Aliens versus cops, and the cops think that they beat the Red Ribbon Army.
Yay!
Woo!
That subplot sure did have a great resolution, I guess.
Right? Oh my god, that was some of this filler, man. Like, because I didn't think it was particularly funny. Like, once again, maybe if I were a Dr. Slump fan, maybe if I wasn't just like a Dragon Ball fan and I knew Dr. Slump, and like maybe like there was some sort of comedic payoff that would like it would have like more value but no, like I got nothing out of it, and I was just like, well, time to derail the story so that way, you know, we can stretch this out to the length of a full episode. I think this would have been fine if this were just 2 episodes. Just make it 2 episodes instead of 2.5. I think it would have been a lot better.
Because like I also because like I like essentially what's essentially the punchline of this whole Dr. Slump thing. Like basically what would be part of the reason for why they did the whole Dr. Slump thing in the first place is that so you know Arale just like totally beats Blue, and then Goku is just like, wow, you know, you're so strong, and then she's just like, yeah, and the Gachans are strong too, and my friend Obochaman's also really strong, and Goku's just like, wow, geez, in this world there's so many people who are stronger than me, I need to keep up my training.
Yeah, no, that's great stuff. Also, like, them referencing, like, Obachaman being strong, like, I'm so glad you told me Obachaman is a fucking robot. Because because I remember that line originally and being like, wait, the nerdy kid that Blue was pedo creeping on? He's strong? I wouldn't have guessed that. But when he told me that he was a robot, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense now.
I mean, technically, there's one point in Dr. Slump where the martial arts guy Tsukutsun's actually stronger than Arale, probably. It's okay, no, it's just essentially like there's one chapter where it just like randomly just ends up with just him getting really pissed off and then just beating this like genie guy, and even though he was having giving Arale trouble. And it's basically like Proto Hachan, who is Proto Gohan, who is Proto, you know, that kind of thing. Sorry, that's just random, completely useless Dr. Slump trivia.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's cool. I was gonna say, though, so Goku no longer has his radar because Blue had the radar. So then Turbo's just like, don't worry, Dad, I remember what it looks like. Do you mind if I use the parts from your plane to build a new Dragon radar? And then he does that. Like, he just levitates parts from this plane, and then, like, somehow he is able to configure a Dragon radar.
I mean, you're not actually seriously big. Like, I don't think this makes any sense, even though this is Dr. Slump gag manga world.
Oh yeah, no, it's like, I'm not gonna call, like, this is ridiculous I mean, it is kind of ridiculous bullshit. Like, it's just one of those things that makes me go, like, it's a fucking plane. How the hell are you gonna make a radar out of a... Whatever, fine. I will accept it. Like, mostly I'm just like, okay, that's not science. What you're doing right now, kid, is alchemy. That is goddamn alchemy. You have broken it down to its base components and reconstructed it into a radar.
Edwin Elric's gonna get all up on that.
But yeah, so Turbo makes the new Dragon radar, and Goku is on his way onto adventure. And that's pretty much it. Oh, that and, like, Blue is just like, yeah, I'm kind of, like, in Egypt, I guess. Or the Dragon Ball equivalent.
Yeah.
Or the Dragon Ball equivalent of Egypt.
Exactly.
It's going to take me a while to get back.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, also there is one little final punchline where Goku tells Arale, hey, next time there's a Tenkaichi Budokai, you should enter. I mean, that does not happen. I mean, in fact,
right.
Up until Dragon Ball Super, I think they basically never mentioned this ever again. Like nobody ever really says, oh hey, Penguin Village is also in the Dragon Ball universe. Wasn't until Dragon Ball Super.
Okay, so you have to think, like, okay, so Goku, you know, just leaves Penguin Village. You know, he has the radar and he's following the radar to Karin Tower, roughly, to get the next Dragon Ball. Does that mean that he, like, now knows where Penguin Village is and could just go there whenever he wanted?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it just requires him to actually remember, retrace his steps kind of thing. actually kind of remember where exactly that was.
Well, yeah, and I don't think Goku remembers anything more complicated than, like, I don't know, like a menu at a restaurant, so I don't
Yeah.
expect him to be able to find Penguin Village.
I mean, yeah, because now I'm thinking about it, and it's like, yeah, realistically, if Goku knew that where Arale was, he'd probably be like, hey, Arale, do you want to, like, have a fight one time, or something? And then Arale should be like, hey, sure, and then their fight, like, destroys the Earth about 5 times over, but then it gets rebuilt, and then I don't even know. And basically, this is why you don't have characters from different genres meeting all the time. It gets really fucking confusing.
Just a little. So, next episode. Okay, so episode 58. My first note I have written here is lots of filler. Just because there's a lot of filler in this first episode. The first 10 minutes of this goddamn episode is fucking filler. There's shit with, like, Commander Red, like, playing pool, being like, Dragon Balls, blue, or whatever the fuck whatever fucking stock bullshit lines that they had him say. I don't even know if I can remember. And then Yellow, like, and his men at a volcano trying to get the 4-star ball. And then there's, like, Karin Tower. There's, like, a great establishing shot of that I liked. And then, like, Bora, and he's, like, fishing with it, like, his little son. And then the volcano erupts, and it sends the Dragon Ball flying over to where Bora is. And then we finally get to where, like, the manga catches up, or, like, where it actually gets to, like, where the manga was, where Yellow and company are, like, confronting Bora for the Dragon Ball. But Jesus Christ, everything I just described was 10 fucking minutes of this episode. After having this drag so much ass to get here, and then go through this Dr. Slump episode, which is, like, 3 or 2.5 Dr. Slump episodes where it's just like, I don't know any of these characters and I'm not really getting anything out of this value-wise, to finally find, like, time for the story to pick back up. Filler.
I mean,
It's
to be
horrible.
fair, it's not the worst filler, because, like, if you didn't know where
It's
the
not.
manga started, you wouldn't know this was filler. Because it's like, the manga,
True.
it literally, if I want to sound really pretentious, I'd say the manga starts this story arc in medias res, in the middle of the action, because it's basically just,
True.
like, them confronting them with the Dragon Ball. We don't know where the Dragon Ball came from, how the Dragon Ball ended up there, how they found out where it was, how long they, all that kind of context. There's no context, so fair enough, but at the same time, it's very, very boring, and it just makes the whole Dragon Ball hunt feel so mundane and dragged out. It's just let's go into a volcano now. We've got to grab the thing from the volcano. Oh no, the volcano erupted. Oh no, there's lava. Oh no, hey, there's a dragon. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm sick of Dragon Balls. Like, you haven't, like, there's nothing interesting about this. I'm just sick of this whole quest. Like, let's have some characters. Let's have something happen.
Yeah, like, it's like, the thing is, like, I'm not bitching that it's filler. It's just, I'm bitching that it's boring filler. Because, like, I have been the staunch defender of filler throughout the majority of this podcast. It really wasn't until the Pirate Cave happened where I just stopped defending the filler, mostly because the Pirate Cave just goes on for just too goddamn long, as is, and then just the filler just dragged it out further. Because, like, I didn't need 5 episodes of Pirate Cave. And just like here, it's just like, okay, like, we do the Dr. Slump thing, we're finally out of the Dr. Slump thing, and it's just boring ass filler. Like, they couldn't have done anything more interesting, like have, like, Yellow's men searching for the ball, and, like, some of them come across Bora and goes, that guy's got the Dragon Ball, and then Bora just beats the shit out of them, and then they have to, like, report back to Yellow, so then Yellow shows up with more guys and guns.
Oh, that could have worked.
Like,
or you could have had, like, having sort of keeping them in shadow sort of thing, like, what's this, like, you just sort of hear, like, shadowy reports of something going on, and then you don't know what's going on until you find out that it's Bora or something like that, and not just, like, I think they did a decent enough job at least establishing what the characters are for what kind of characters they are, and that Upa is some kid who wants to be strong, Bora is his dad, Bora is, like, best protective dad ever, and is also really, really strong, so obviously that's why Upa looks up to him. That's essentially it.
Yeah, no, like these characters are... like, god damn it, like, it's gonna sound really condescending, but I don't mean to, but they are very one-dimensional, so spending all that extra time with them really doesn't give you anything.
It's like when you, it was like, basically, it was like Jingle Village. Once again, it's like, spend time with Snow and the family, but it doesn't make Snow and the family have that much more depth to them, because, like, they don't really have that much depth to them. Like, like, I want to say this right now, it's like, I mean, I don't really get why some people seem to really like the Red Ribbon Army that much, but, like, because one thing I can definitely tell is I can understand why a lot of the things in the Red Ribbon Army didn't come back, because they're not really that interesting on their own.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that. Like, Jingle Village, Snow. I mean, I like Hachan.
Hachan was good, and I mean, even if Hachan didn't come back, they explored the concept pretty similar with Android 16. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like, I mean, like, Hachan, I really liked. I do like the progression through Muscle Tower. I liked Sergeant Murasaki. I like Blue. It's just the fucking Pirate Cave just goes on too long, and
Pirate Cave, rope. We need to have more stock things that we just say that suck or we just don't like.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like Uper and Bora are one of the same things where it's like. It'd be nicer if these characters had anything more to them, but they're just like some strong guy and their little kid who are also like Native Americans in a place with no America, and
right.
I don't know.
Hey! We have seen the American flag.
Okay,
in Dragon
all
Ball.
right. Okay, fine. There is an America, so I guess they might be Native American. Maybe this is Dragon Ball America. That's where the land of Karin is.
It's like somewhere like in I don't know, North Texas.
There you go. So just search North Texas.
Tower.
You too will find that big ass tower and be able to find a talking cat at the top. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. So Bora is basically like. I mean, I don't want to go into the like deep rabbit hole as to whether or not maybe it's like almost like a stereotype or not, because honestly, that's way outside my cultural context to really understand it. He's obviously Native American inspired, and he's this, kind of almost generic sort of strong, good guy who's like does the right thing and has this sacred duty kind of thing and doesn't let bad people do bad things. And so it's like, the Red Ribbon Army come in and they're like, give us the Dragon Ball, do this stuff or else you're going to work for us now. And he's like, no, I'm not. And then he just kind of, like, basically kills a whole bunch of dudes. It's alright, because I mean, to be fair, yeah, they attack first, but it's okay. He's bulletproof. Because he is.
Yeah, no, he just, like, flexes the bullets off of him. It's pretty great, honestly. I think that's kind of a badass moment. Because, like, I don't think we've actually really seen anyone tank bullets the way Bora did in this episode, where he just kind of flexes and just the bullets just kind of fall off of him.
Fear the power of my pecs!
And then just, in one of just the most violent scenes in this series so far, one of the most, Bora spears a guy through a tree. He chucks a spear through a guy and through a tree. He pins him to the tree with a spear.
This is just like, this is probably much like, I mean, I feel like there's kind of a bit of a tonal whiplash here, because it's like, okay, well, we clearly know that Bora is supposed to be a good guy, but at the same time, Bora is, like, very clearly killing people. Like, you can't even just, like, use the gag logic thing where it's like, oh, they're actually okay. Like, he literally says afterwards, oh, I'm gonna go and bury these guys. So he very clearly kills them. And I'm kind of surprised that, like, Toriyama, like, literally just has this guy who's supposed to be a good guy just go and just flat out kill these other dudes. And, like, yeah, sure, they were shooting at him, but, like, you see later on in the series, when that happens to, like, Goku, he doesn't go around and kill them. Or at least not later, not in later parts of the series. So, I don't know, I just found it a little bit kind of weird. Especially where it's like, you got, like, Upa, who's just, like, staring all proud at his father that he just murdered a bunch of guys. It's like, yeah, sure, be happy there. Be happy, all that blood that was spilt.
I mean, to be fair, though, like, I mean, like, Dragon Ball's, like, moral alignment seems to be, like, if it's a bad person, it is okay to kill them. Because Goku's
like,
going to kill people. Goku's already killed
I
people
mean,
in this
yes,
arc.
but it's like, it's basically like only in this arc though. Well, okay, that and like, well, then they're like demons that aren't human, and then they'd like kill people he's close to. But it's like, I just find it so strange that it's like, yeah, like they seem to have absolutely no hesitation to just kill the bad guys. But then later on, and like especially as the series goes on as well, it's just like at that point where it's like, no, killing the bad guys is only something you do when they go way too far, like really, really too far, and even then it's only like after you give them a second chance. Kind of thing. So I don't know. It's like just the kind of like the way that they just don't really linger on it here. When later part of the series they really do linger on it. So just kind of, I don't know. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. Because I feel like that whole element of Goku's character doesn't actually become a thing until Namek.
I mean,
like until he gets to Namek,
it's not like such a thing early on in the series, but at the same time, but basically it makes so much sense for the kind of character he is. I'm kind of surprised that it only starts showing up like at that point.
Yeah, because I mean, even with like Raditz, like the only reason he was gonna let Raditz live is because like he swore it's like I'm not gonna fuck with you anymore. Please spare my life, and he was just like, all right, as long as you promise to stop being a baddie. And then, he got fucked over, and then, he's like, fuck it, hold him down. Piccolo, shoot him in the chest. Kill him. I mean, he didn't, like, have, like, any, like, the only reason he didn't want Vegeta to be killed is because he couldn't beat Vegeta himself.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, that case it's different, though. Vegeta. Like, in that case, it's different because, like, Vegeta had done those, like, had harmed him personally and had gone too far, kind of thing. These Red Ribbon Army guys, they're just kind of like basically doing their job. Like, they're just like they're employed. They're getting a salary. Like, we don't know who these people are. We don't know the terrible things that they have done personally, and then we're just like going around and killing them. I know I am spending way too long fixating on the morality of a kids show, but it is just something that comes through my mind when I'm just watching this and has him mentioning, he's just going to go and dig graves.
Okay, as someone who is literally named after the villain faction from an anime. The Zeon. Like, I am very sympathetic towards, morally gray, villains and stuff. The Red Ribbon Army are just a terrorist organization.
I mean,
they are
like,
just,
yes,
because it's not like...
It's like they are, but they're just, it's filled with a whole bunch of, like, faceless goons. And it's like, I mean, I know, they're not, like, if they did try to humanize them, they would humanize them by saying that they're all just monsters, but it's like, it's just like that kind of thing where it's like, just like, it's got the alien race and everyone in the alien race is evil, like, just because they are, and I'm just saying that, and that's why you're just like, mobbing them down.
So, in defense of Bora, those guys shot at him.
Yeah, no, I know. Like, he's morally justified in killing them because they tried to kill him first. And, like, they weren't just going to stop shooting because he said, I mean, no, they probably would, to be fair, they probably would have stopped shooting if he had given them the Dragon Ball and you didn't even know why they wanted the Dragon Ball. Like, okay, listen, guys, but I know I'm getting fixated on this, but I'm not actually upset. It's just, like, it's just a topic of discussion towards me, thinking about, like, the typical morality of kids' shows and how Dragon Ball is doing this.
Alright, Gabby, this is the Dragon Cast. I'm pretty sure at this point people are used to us just going way too deep into shit that doesn't matter.
I don't mean as in, like, getting way too deep in it. It's just more as in, like, people might think that, like, I, like, actually hate Dragon Ball now because it's like sending a bad message or whatever. It's not like that. It's just like, it's just me thinking about this. Like, I didn't even really think about it. Like, I have a little, like, two sort of sentences on my notes, and now I'm just going on a tangent about it because I'm just thinking about it.
Okay. So, Bora kills some guys, and, trying to get this back on track.
Oh, yeah.
Red threatens him. Threatens Yellow, and it's just like, if you don't get me that fucking Dragon Ball, I'm gonna call Tao. I'm gonna call Tao Pai Pai, the Master Assassin. And I realized in this moment, Tao Pai Pai is kind of the Ginyu Force of this arc.
In what way?
Like he is this character who is like, first off, like, the actual leader, like, the head baddie of the arc, makes reference to him. Like, it's just like, I'm gonna bring these guys in, and it's just like, oh shit, do you really think it's so serious that we need to bring this guy in? Because, like, they did the same thing with the Ginyu Force, where, like, he was talking about bringing the Ginyus, and then, like, Zarbon is just like, I think it was Zarbon, it's just like, whoa, wait, really? The Ginyu Force? Isn't that a little overkill? And, like, you had the same thing with, like, Red and Black having that same dynamic of just being like, I should call Tao Pai Pai, and Black being like, do you really think we need to call Tao Pai Pai for this shit? And just, like, how he kind of, like, comes into the arc, and just, it's like, this major antagonistic force right before the final antagonistic force.
I mean, I think there is one major difference between Tao and the Ginyu Force, though, and that is that the Ginyu Force...
And that Tao's actually the strongest thing.
Not necessarily the strongest thing, but the most interesting thing, and the biggest climax thing, and it's actually a climax, whereas, okay, like, this is essentially... I think as this part, like the next few episodes, this is essentially the best part of the Red Ribbon Army, pretty much by far. It's the thing that everybody actually remembers. As in, like, people remember this. I think people like this part more than the actual proper final confrontation with the Red Ribbon Army. So to the point that Tao Pai Pai might as well have just been the final boss. I mean, heck, like, Red and Black, versions of them, they don't come back, but Tao Pai Pai does. I think that speaks volumes to how that ends up being received.
True.
Okay,
True.
Is it time for Tao Pai Pai gushing yet, or do we have more to say?
Okay. I do have a couple of notes because Tao doesn't actually show up until the very end of this episode.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah. So Red. Okay. So something that I realized in this scene, I'm not sure when this actually became a thing, but Red keeps referring to him as Son Goku. Like, when did they learn his name?
Yeah, I was wondering that as well. Yeah, I'm just like, I can't remember where they learned his name from. But, I mean, I don't want to go through all the filler so I can know how everybody learns pieces of information. Like this is, like, one of my least interesting parts. At least in this kind of context. Like, just randomly finding out, when did everybody learn random pieces of information about what's going on in a different situation? Like that's so boring. I don't care.
Ugh. No, like, it's just, like, because the first time I noticed it, like I said, I was on my lunch break at work reading the manga, and, like, when he just starts referring to him as Son Goku, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? When did he learn his name? And then, like, the anime, it did the exact same thing, so I was just like, wait, what the fuck did he learn? So, because, like, I don't think Blue ever knew his name, so, like,
No.
Blue's, like, the only one who could have reported back to him at any point.
I don't know. They had spy robots. Dr. Giro's spy robots. Okay, just stop.
So Yellow kidnaps Upa, and he's like, and then Goku shows up and kills Yellow because he's a bad Red Ribbon Army guy.
He just kills him. Like that's
Yeah.
I mean, okay, because like the in medias res thing shows up where it's like, okay, so it's like, oh, there's this Bora guy, he's really strong, but look, he's got this little kid. So then they kidnap the little kid in a plane, and he's just like, give me the Dragon Ball. He's like, no, I won't. I don't trust you, kind of thing. Goku just randomly shows up, sees Yellow is in a Red Ribbon Army plane. He's like, oh, you're one of those Red Ribbon guys. You're like a bad guy, and then he just like, just beats him up.
Fucking murders him.
Like, this is what I mean. It's just, like, it's weird. Like, because, like, it is not supposed, like, it's not trying to present Goku as this evil, ruthless killer. But then when you look at it with kind of the perception as to what he's like later in the series, it's what he feels like.
Yeah, just, Goku is just... He's Goku. Like his moral alignment is, that's a bad guy. Bad guys need to be killed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I mean, like that.
He doesn't have nuance.
Yeah, that's like that's not later on Goku. Like later on, Goku is, that's a bad guy. I need to beat him up, and then I'll let him live because like I do want to fight him again. No, he's just like, that's a bad guy. Kill him. So weird.
Yeah, the thing that gets me, okay, like it bugs the shit out of me too whenever I think about it, because like Goku is being so ruthless to like these guys who are relatively harmless, yet he will let go someone like Vegeta, who is a planet-conquering monster, a slaughterer of lives, just a genocidal piece of shit, And it's just like, yeah, no, he's probably gonna go off. And he did the same fucking thing with Frieza, where like he was gonna let Frieza go. It's just like, really, you're gonna let the fucking Galactic Emperor Warlord fucking go?
To explain that, I'll say, okay, there is both a kind of like sort of metaphorical kind of like character reason and kind of a physical, almost like biological reason. Here, the only reason is just like Goku's deciding that bad people need to be killed, kind of out of nowhere.
See, honestly, I feel like I understand that mentality from Goku way more than I understand Goku's mentality in the fucking in the Frieza arc. Because here it's just like, yeah, no, Goku is like a little jungle boy who was taught like be a good boy and bad people need to be punished. So
yeah,
Goku's like, okay, that's a bad person.
There's a difference between being punished and die and like legitimately taking somebody's life. Like that's like I'm sorry, I'm just getting so fixated in the whole killing thing. But it's like maybe this is just like me personally thinking like my personal opinions. But it's like taking somebody's life is a very drastic measure. Like the idea that like this kind of like fun wacky kids story is just treating it so lightly is sort of like making me think about it because it is weird.
I think it is weird that the fact that like the comedic prequel is the one where Goku slaughters probably the most people in the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Because, like, once the series gets more serious, then Goku's, like, all altruistic and being like, oh, no, like, I'm gonna be nicer about this. And
and then that's when it's like, when Goku kills somebody, it is a big deal, and it is justified, and that person is done it for a good reason, and there's no other option. Like, he was not going to tell Piccolo Daimao to stop murdering people. He was going to go and eliminate Bulma City if somebody did not stop him. That kind of thing. All of his arms and legs were broken. He had this one shot to beat him, and if he hadn't gone through his chest, he wouldn't have beaten him. It was the only chance he had. Here it's just like, no, I can kill you now by throwing you off your plane, and I will do it.
Yeah, no, he just fucking murders him. Fucking murders
I was actually thinking about like just like imagining like someone like Gohan, like, asking Goku, is like, oh, what was the Red Ribbon Army? And then just, like, having, like, adult Goku with that, like, oh, those Red Ribbon jerks. They were such annoying guys. I hated them. They kept getting in my way. And, like, having that, like, the exact same attitude that he has as a kid.
Right? So for anyone who thinks Goku does not actually evolve as a character, this is very evident here. Goku is a very different character than where he ends up as an adult. I don't know, like, maybe at some point, like, during his training in the Heavenly Realm, God was just
I've heard that, but that's headcanon. Like, there's
right, yeah.
It's headcanon. Nobody ever says it. There is no reason as to why, basically, the morality of the series flips from bad people need to die to bad people only die as a last resort, but it happens.
Right, yeah, no. Goku just kills willy-nilly in this, and later on in this arc, he will go out of his way to kill someone who is relatively harmless. But we'll get to that when we get to it. So, Yellow's dead, fucking Red just like, that's it, fuck it, call Tao Pai Pai. Goku gets the 4-star ball. Yeah, he has his grandpa's ball. Blue returns, and in a fairly violent act, Blue, like, cause like one of the guys is just like, who the hell are you? And, like, points a gun at Blue, and Blue just, like, elbows him in the face, and just kind of splatters the back of his head into a friggin' brick wall. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but, like, when that guy hits the wall and slides down, there's a trail of blood.
I did see, I didn't think about, I guess it would have come from his head. Oh, that's gross. Oh, that's gross.
Yeah,
oh,
no,
great.
Like, because I noticed that in the manga first, and I was just like, ooh, that's pretty brutal. And then, like, when the scene happened in the anime, just, I'm like, oh, not quite as graphic as the manga, but still, that is the back of that guy's head splattered onto that wall. Oh, damn.
Also, I guess we need to say just, hi, Yellow, bye, Yellow. You're a tiger. That's new.
I mean, I think him being a tiger officially makes him more interesting than White. That is.
Wait, hang on. Is White or Silver?
Tiger,
are we getting confused? Is it White or who?
I'm speaking specifically about White from the Muscle Tower.
Okay, because I thought like White was at least kind of interesting because he was like sort of cowardly and was sort of watching. I don't know, but yeah. So that was that was just a guy who just sort of showed up, despite him being a named general. He's taken out very quickly,
Yeah.
and soon we get to two new things and different villains and old villains returning and new villains and okay. So is it time
Tao
for
is
Tao
here.
Pai Pai?
Tao is here.
Is
Tao
it time
Pai
for Tao Pai
It's
Pai
Tao Pai
gushing?
Pai time.
Tao Pai Pai gushing.
So yeah, yes. Man, finally, okay. Like
An
Tao Pai
actual-
Pai is just
an actual good villain, an actual like
Yes.
memorable villain with presence that's interesting. It has a unique design and a unique kind of concept to them. Like how did it take Toriyama this long to actually come up with a legitimately interesting villain to want to see what they're going to do? Like Blue only got interesting like as we got to see more of him. Like Tao from the very beginning, you're just like, whoa, he's cool. Like he is cool.
I feel okay. Like I don't know. I feel like Blue had a lot of personality to him at very least. Like because like the moment Blue shows up, he feels like such a breath of fresh air. It's just and then they did nothing with him.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, like, I feel like with Tao, it's like, just from his very design, it's just like, it just oozes just like quirkiness, essentially. Like,
Yes.
he's got like this ponytail, he's got this pink, like, I don't know what you call that. That
martial
thing.
arts outfit.
Yeah, and it's like on the front, it has like I think the characters that make up his name, Tao Pai Pai, and even then, that's an interesting. Like it's not just a color; it's like it's a color, and it's also peach, and it's all these other things. And then on the back of his shirt, at the back of his coat thing, it just says "kill you" in
Kill you.
English.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I'm sure in Japanese it's like, oh wow, that's so cool. In English, it's like, oh wow, that's so goofy, but that's also so cool.
Yeah, no, it's great, and just Tao Pai Pai. Like I said, like I'm not gonna throw Blue under a bus, but yeah, no, Tao Pai Pai is leagues more interesting, and just like he shows up, and he's so just I don't know how to just like confident, like you know he's kind of stoic, kind of confident. He's cool.
He said, like I said, he has presence. Like, when he enters the room, you know he's there, and he immediately takes charge of the situation. Like, he makes the Red Ribbon
Yes.
Army guys, like, look like complete idiots, complete fools. They do exactly what he says. He basically just, like, you know, he pretty much says, you know, if I'm going to kill these guys, so I have to get money, I charge a commission fee. So every person I kill, you have to give me 20 million yen or whatever. But it's my 20-year anniversary as an assassin, so I'm giving you a 50% offset. Like, he has all this, like...
Yeah, that right there, the whole, like, just adding in the, like, this is my ridiculously absorbent fee, but also, it's my anniversary, so, 50% off for you guys for these kills. Like, it just adds, like, a little extra bit to his character. It's good. I love Tao.
Like, and even then, it's like when you have, like when Blue finds out who Tao Pai Pai is, and he's like, oh, so you're the famous assassin. And then Tao responds with just like, well, yo, you want my autograph? And I'm like, oh, like Tao has so many actually memorable quotes for a guy that's like
Right.
famous as that one villain that Toriyama forgot about in an interview with Eiichiro Oda.
Oh god, did that happen?
No,
I didn't
there's
know
this
that
one like interview with Toriyama and Oda, and then they talk about like villains and stuff, and then like Oda was like talking about like how he really liked Tao Pai Pai, and then like Toriyama's just like, wait, who's Tao Pai Pai again?
No. Toriyama, god damn it.
Hopefully after that situation, he didn't forget him because of that situation, but yeah.
Well, I mean, he didn't come back in Dragon Ball Super, so there you go.
Well, that's because he's
One
dead,
more
isn't
thing-
he? Isn't he dead?
I
I
mean,
can't remember now.
okay, it depends.
Okay.
Like,
It's-
you know, because they only wish back non-bad people.
Oh yeah,
with the
right.
Dragon Balls
And
at the
so
end.
that
So
that
technically-
unintentionally created a worldwide purge of evil people from the earth. Fun times. That was completely unintentional. They obviously
Yeah.
they were not trying to do that, but you know they can easily retcon
Yeah,
that.
so technically, you know, Tao should stay dead. Like, he should have been killed by Majin Buu and not wished back. But, you know, knowing Toriyama, he probably doesn't even remember that. Like, So he's probably, if you ask Toriyama.
I'm alright with them just retconning that idea that it's just like, and at that point, just every person who was evil never came back to life, because that's just kind of, like, that's just kind of dumb. Like, it is. Like, you're drastically changing the entire, like, it's essentially the dragon, like the main heroes deciding who is going to live and who is going to die, for as an unintentional side effect of them trying to defeat Majin Buu. And that's kind of like, you're playing God there for no reason.
But the thing is, though, if they did wish back everyone,
yeah, I know. Then Babidi and like Barbara and Babidi. I know. But it's like the fact that there's these like far-reaching consequences and nobody seems to consider it. Once again, it's one of those things where it just kind of like drops me the wrong way. I'm just like, did you ever think about that, Toriyama? Or did you just you're just not gonna think about it? I don't know. But then we can talk about that when we get to the Buu arc. In 10 years from now.
Yes. Now the question is though. Like, who will get to the Majin Buu arc first? Us or Lance?
Probably us. Oh, no, probably Lance. No, probably Lance. He's in the Cell arc. Definitely Lance.
He is in the Cell arc, but I feel like, because, like, he actually has to, like, script things, and, he also has to do, like, all, like,
but
like,
he
all
also
movies
has a
and all that
schedule,
stuff.
And we don't.
Okay, true. I don't know.
Maybe
we need to up production and
Lance
one
counter.
Up Lance.
Ding!
Oh, ding. Yes. So anyhow, Blue, because, even though he got the Dragon Radar, he still kind of failed, so Red's just like,
because it's like, the orders weren't to get the radar, the orders were to get the Dragon Balls. Like, what else he gets doesn't matter.
Yeah, so he's just like, if you want to earn your keep around here, fight Tao Pai Pai. This is like the most classic martial artsy thing ever. Like just the very idea that's like, okay, and so there's a really new villain, and we're gonna show just how important they are by having them defeat the previous villain. And then it's like the previous villain is like using his old techniques that worked against Goku, but they don't work against Tao Pai Pai because Tao Pai Pai is so strong. And it's like, this villain is like acting all cocky and overconfident because he thinks he's the coolest shit. But then he's like, no, Tao Pai Pai's just taking it all without anything. Like, it is the most like classic martial arts thing. And like, I just eat this stuff up. Yeah, I fucking love. Okay, I love like before they start fighting, he like looks at Red and goes, I have to charge you for killing this guy too, right? And he goes, yeah, no, it's fine.
This is what I mean, like, Tao is so quotable.
He's just the coolest villain so far. Honestly, like, I feel like it's gonna be a while before we get like a villain just as delightfully evil as Tao, because Piccolo is going to be just straight evil. He's going to be just evil. Like, he isn't going to be like, deliciously campy evil like Tao Pai Pai is. Like, I feel like we're not going to get anything like that until like Vegeta. So yeah, like, he uses his technique. Okay, something I didn't know. I had to like go back to double check this. But in the manga, yeah, like he doesn't. Blue never actually uses his powers against Tao Pai Pai.
Yeah, which like, I mean,
which is weird.
I thought it would be a kind of an odd omission, but yeah, at the same time, it's like, yeah, I guess the only really legitimate way I can think of actually having them not work is just be like, it didn't work because Tao's too strong. Because the only other time it was ever broken is just like, either there's another person with psychic powers, or it's just like he gets scared off and he's gonna, like, somehow I doubt like having the psychic powers like not work because Blue is scared of Tao, like, subconsciously. Somehow I feel like that is just a bit too much depth for this kind of story.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really liked it. It's like it felt like such like the obvious thing you do. Like, as you were talking about, like, like the villain uses like his special technique against this other guy, but now it doesn't work on this guy.
Yeah, just because it's just kind of like, the idea is there because, like, I understand why it might not be there in the anime in the manga, because it's like it's just the idea that it's just like it's a really powerful attack and then the villain just no sells it because they're powerful. Like, that's just the laziest and like least interesting way of doing it.
I don't care. It was cool. That is my rebuttal to that. Like, you can sit there and be like, well, narratively, yada yada. It was cool. It was really cool to see Blue like use his powers and Tao just go, what the fuck was that? And just everybody just shit their pants and go, oh fuck, Blue's powers don't work on him. I don't know. I loved it. I don't care if it's lazy. I don't care if it's unoriginal. I enjoyed it. And then
it's alright.
Getting back into things that are original, Tao just shoving his tongue in Blue's temple and just killing him dead.
Yeah, like that. Like I said, like that's quirky because you're not like. You're just like, because, it's just like, I'm going to kill him with one hand. I'm going to kill him with one hand tied behind my back. I'm going to kill him without using my shirt. But, no, it's, I'm going to kill him with my tongue. And you're like, how are you going to kill a guy with his tongue? I just hit my tongue really hard against his, brain and kill him.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Honestly,
like, why not? Like, there are more ridiculous things in the series.
Like, honestly, that has to be, one of the most violent deaths when you think about it. I mean, like the guy just got like his brain pierced by another man's tongue. Like that's pretty brutal. Goddamn.
I have to admit though, but of course I think one of the most iconic things about Tao, one of the most absurd things about Tao, is his method of transportation.
Okay, before you jump into that, before you jump into this, they give Tao a picture of Goku.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they got that picture from.
Oh, no, that I remember. That they captured it at Muscle Tower. They explained that, and they've used it.
It's a different one. It's a different picture.
No, wait, I think it's the same picture. It's just this time it's colored for some reason.
No. Because the one
sure?
where Goku is in the fighting... Goku's in, the exact same fighting stance, but the picture is zoomed in more, and he's holding the Nyoibo. He was barehand, or he was empty-handed whenever he was in the original picture.
All right, I guess there just must have been an inconsistency. It's probably just an inconsistency.
It's just like a weird inconsistency, and that's in the manga too. Because I thought it was really weird. Because when I got that in the manga, I'm like, that's not the same picture that they had before. And I thought it was really weird that the anime also carried over that same inconsistency of that picture, because Goku was just in a standard martial arts stance, and he's still in that stance, except now it's zoomed in more, and he's holding the Nyoibo, which he was not holding before. Weird little inconsistency caught my attention, and I just wanted to note that because it just took me out of the moment, both in the manga and in the anime. And shame on you, anime, for not fixing that. You should have noticed.
But yeah, no. So Tao's method of transportation. So what he does is he grabs one of he takes one of the pillars supporting the the Red Ribbon Army base. He just punches the top and the bottom, takes the pillar out, sort of works out where he needs to go, throws the pillar really, really, really hard, and then jumps really far and lands on the pillar and just rides the pillar specifically, which he's calculated to specifically land him at his destination.
Yeah, no.
That is
the
just,
coolest
thing.
That
is just so many levels of what the hell, but at the same time, it's not so what the hell that I just don't understand any of it. I can understand what the logic of this is. The idea is just he is just so strong, so purely confident in his abilities that he knows the exact strength that he needs to do to go to throw a pillar this direction, this far, and land in this place. And he can just and he is so strong that he can do that. I can understand it. It makes no sense, but I can, realistically, but I can understand it. It's it's not magic. It's just rooted in something you could do if you were 5 million times better at what you could normally do.
Yeah, no, honestly, this is probably the most impressive strength feat in the series up until this point. Honestly, even when you compare it to shit that's in Dragon Ball Z, the fact that he
have to
this big stone pillar and he chucks it 2,300 kilometers, which, because I'm a big dumb American, I had to go look that up. That is 1,429 miles for all you Americans. You're welcome. Yeah, because I had no clue what the fuck kilometers are. But yeah, just
use metric.
Right? It's fucking we're just too stubborn or lazy or both. I don't know why we never converted to the metric system, but we never did.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, like he just like that is just insane. The fact that he just takes this pillar and just chucks it and lands on it, and he's just standing there like his arms his arms behind his back, just standing there upright, riding this pillar into the horizon. It's just like that is the coolest shit ever.
I mean, the thing that is most ridiculous to me, it's not the fact that he can throw it that far, but the fact that he can calculate the exact strength he needs to throw it in the exact direction to get to his specific destination. Like,
yeah, no,
how do you even that is absurd, and that's cool.
Yeah, no, it is. It's good. It's so fucking cool. Like, seriously, right out of the gate, Tao is just leagues more interesting than anything up until this point. Like, holy shit. Like it's really kind of highlighting how not quite as exciting the rest of this arc has been. The fact that, like, this guy just kind of being a smarmy jackass and just doing cool shit like throwing a pillar and riding it into the horizon. It's just, oh my god, this guy's so cool. Yeah, okay, fine. Maybe the Red Ribbon arc isn't that good, Gabby. Fine, you have me.
No, don't do that. You're gonna break Lance's heart.
I mean, I still really like the Red Ribbon Army arc. It's just, I really thought I was going to enjoy this. Like, I was gonna get, like, so much enjoyment out of this. And it's not even like, oh, like, it's because I'm watching the anime that's bogged down by filler, because I've been really defensive of the filler, and I've also been reading along in the manga. And for the most part, like, I've been enjoying the anime more. It's only up until recently, and then I'm like, but, like, just having the introduction of Tao, and just, he just brings such a new energy to everything. It's so good.
It just makes you realize what it could have been. What the entire, right. Like, how you could have done the rest of it and, like, inject more personality into it at the same time. Instead of just having, like, you know, a random octopus, a random robot, a random whatever. Mm-hmm. You can have these people have their quirks and personalities and names and name puns and, you know, that kind of stuff, which Toriyama at some points just doesn't do.
Yeah, no,
and you know, having
really
like
weird.
Having a 2.5 episode crossover does in the middle of your story that is also technically plot relevant, but also uses completely different genre logic. That also does mess things up.
I mean, I'm fine with that, but it's just, I don't know, like seeing Tao really does just make you realize, like, what this story has been kind of lacking. Because it's like, yeah, like, I mean, I like Muscle Tower, but it's just like, it's a whole lot of just like, okay, we're gonna fight, like, General or whatever the fuck, like, whatever, Major Metal, no, not Major. What the fuck was his rank?
Like, honestly, just
Wait,
like,
anyhow,
I just say, like, by their gimmicks, it's like, you know, a robot and a ninja and, like...
And a Frankenstein and, like, whatever the fuck Bouillon was.
A kaiju-ish, not a kaiju, but, like, a monster.
Yeah. And it's just, like, yeah, no, it's just, like, there isn't a whole lot there to really sink your teeth into. And, like, I mean, I love that the fact that they're doing that whole Game of Death thing. Like, you know, that, you know, like, the kind of throwback to, you know, like, to that Bruce Lee movie Game of Death. And, like, you know, he's going up the tower and fighting the different guys. But, like, the individual guys aren't that interesting on their own. Major Metallic was literally just a Terminator robot. Bouillon's just some fat pink thing. Murasaki was cool. I like Murasaki. Like, you know, in fact, I even liked him when they brought him back for that one filler episode. Like, you know, I thought that was a good use of his character. And White was boring as shit. And Colonel Silver wasn't interesting. And Blue was interesting, but then, like, the fucking pirate cave just goes on forever. And, like, there's so much
Okay.
Blue,
can we make a drinking game? I feel like we can
Goku.
make a drinking game at the amount of times that we've brought up the pirate cave.
Because the pirate cave sucked. It's just like it's not even like it's not even like it sucked. It was just like it just goes on too long.
So boring.
And
like it was just so so inoffensive.
Yeah, and I feel like one of the big problems with that is that you have so much of Goku and Blue not interacting during that time. Like you have it. It's like Goku and company are progressing through the cave, and behind them is Blue. But, like, it isn't until, like, you know, they don't actually interact until, like, the very end of that thing. and
And
then
it's
we
for
jump,
like a whole
to
like
Penguin
chapter,
Village.
and that's it.
Yeah, and it's just because like yeah, and I feel like like you brought up before, Blue's power isn't like it's cool that he has a power and something that can immobilize Goku, but it's just like it's too OP to be interesting. So yeah, back to what the hell we were talking about. What was it? Oh right, Tao shows up and he kills Bora.
Well,
Oh
I
no,
mean,
Bora.
there's more to, there's more to say. Like, I mean, like, first we kind of get this sort of, like, the other thing, the fact that we really talked about, and is like, that they're at a place, a actual place, the land of Karin, and there is a big tower called Karin Tower, which is Karin To, which is a sweet, it's a pun, it's funny.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I think I know that because Lance, so, ding again.
Ding.
But, and so it's like, it's once again, like, it's like we've gotten back to kind of like stock martial arts sort of trope. So it's like, it's this really big tower, and if you climb up to the top, there's this old hermit, and he'll give you some water, and it'll increase your strength by multiple times. But of course, many people have tried to climb the tower, but nobody's reached the top. I don't know if this is anime only though. It sounds like this was anime only, but it was just like, they've tried to, like, people even tried airplanes and stuff, but they never reached the top, because it is said that you can only get there if you climb with your own strength. And it's like, okay, this is this is so, like, generic, but it's so familiar.
Yes, and I'm going to go ahead and confirm for you, yes, the line about, like, flying an airplane up there and never reaching the top is an anime-only line.
Okay. That makes sense,
also the line about when Upa says like I heard someone once actually did. It's like, yeah, but that was hundreds of years ago. Nobody knows if that story is actually true. That's also a dub line. But then again, we also do know for a fact that is a thing that happens because the Muten Roshi, we'll find out in a future episode.
It is this kind of almost like stock martial arts thing, but it's very familiar. Like, it's like, I understand this stuff, and it's cool. And it's like, because it's like you kind of know what's going to happen when you see it. It's like, Goku's going to try and reach the tower, and he's going to succeed where so many people have failed because, he's got some, some test of his character that his personality is just, like, better than everybody else. He's more virtuous than everybody else, that kind of thing. But it's like, I've seen this story before, but I'm all right with having it be told because Dragon Ball hasn't really told this yet. It's done like. It sort of did it with the retraining the Muten Roshi, but that was like training. This is like something else. It's like this fun aspect of the world where it can even make Goku stronger, but he's got to, pass tests first. He's got to, like, do challenges first, and it's fun.
It's all good. Like, I mean, like you're saying, like, it's familiar, but, and it's very tropey, but it's good stuff. It's all good. So we have, like, Bora is the first one to challenge Tao, and, we've already established Bora's a really strong guy, and he can fuck dudes up real good, and Tao murders him without any effort. Like, literally just, like, catches Bora's spear, flicks Bora in the air like he's nothing, and then chucks his spear into the air, and then, like, just impales him, and Bora drops to the ground dead.
And I think that something that really actually makes this scene much more is the fact that, like, Tao is kind of like shit talking throughout the whole thing. It's like, when he like holds Bora's spear and stops it from moving, he's just kind of like, oh, what's wrong? It's not doing anything. It's not moving. Hang on, here, I'll move it for you. So he does that. He lifts it up, throws Bora in the air, and then he's just like, you can have your spear back now.
Spear back,
fucking,
yeah.
Like that is like this, just like one-liners that he does before he kills. Like that's just. It just adds so much more personality. Like, because they could have just made him be silent throughout the whole time, and it could have worked effectively as well. But the fact that you have him just, like, almost, like, enjoying this opportunity, like, it really makes it stand out. It makes it much more interesting.
Yeah, no, just, like I was saying before, Tao is just a delightfully kind of almost campy villain. Just, he's so deliciously evil. I love him. And he adds so much.
There's another line earlier on where he says, like, oh, to think that you would go out of your way to choose death. It's like, it's like, that's, like that's just such a good, like that's such a good villain line,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, like, fucking, Tao, man, he's so good. So Bora's dead, and Goku starts charging at him, and episode ends.
Yeah, no, so Bora's dead. So they just killed off. They just killed off a good guy.
Yeah.
Basically,
the first
for
time
the
this is,
yeah, I was gonna say, is this the first? I think this is the first time in the series they kill off a good person, which.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of dark. Like some people say, that this is the point where Dragon Ball gets dark and serious. I don't think it's necessarily like, you flip a switch and then Dragon Ball gets serious, yada yada. Like as we've seen in this arc, it's become progressively more serious as it's gotten on. Like, and also less serious.
Right.
And it's not like you flick a switch, but yeah, like the idea that like now it's like. There isn't that aura of invincibility for good guys where no matter what they'll come out okay. Here we have, hey look, they can lose and also die. They don't really linger on it too much. Like it's still got kind of like weird cartoonishy feeling towards the fact that somebody has died, but like it's there.
Yeah. What was it like a little detail I actually liked in the manga is because I don't think it's actually because I don't think they animated this like to do the same thing, but like when Bora slams on the ground, the underneath like the back end of the spear, like this part that's sticking out of his back, actually snaps. It was just like a nice little detail that I appreciated, but it was just like because I don't know, it added like a little extra like visceral element to that scene. And I think like in the anime, you just kind of see him like land, and you don't actually see like the spear snap or anything like that. So yeah, there's just like little visceral detail, just kind of like, ooh.
The manga's really weird with its gore sometimes. Like, it just sometimes comes completely out of nowhere and blindsides you.
Yeah, this is one of the things that, like, I feel like the anime is a little bit more tonally consistent about that, because, because the filler does add in, like, the Red Ribbon Army being really malicious, really evil early on. Like, like when those Red Ribbon soldiers show up and like they shoot up that bathroom or whatever.
But it's like, it's weird though, because it's like, it's not like that was necessarily intentional because they knew that it was going to be like this.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, no. It's a complete like happy accident that they ended up. Well, I mean, they had to have known that like it was going to get somewhat dark, because I think they were already up to. I think the manga was already out Tao Pai Pai by the time this arc had started.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I can't check now. I can't be bothered to check now, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that at very least, like they knew that the Red Ribbon Army arc was gonna get darker and like it was gonna get more violent. So like adding those things in, it's not like like all of a sudden like because like Blue shows up and starts like just gunning down his own men. It's just like, whoa, what the fuck? And then Tao shows up and starts shoving tongues through people and fucking spearing like this gentle, Native American father through the chest. Yeah, so at least like in the anime, like, because of the filler that they added, like it does add a little bit more tonal consistency with like just how dark it is and how dark it gets. But yeah, and definitely kind of makes the Red Ribbon Army feel like a more imposing force in general. But yeah, no, like the fucking like I find it weird. Like in the manga though, it is fairly more lighthearted and kind of just haha, it's a fun adventure, and then things just kind of take a turn for the dark side. Whew.
I mean, I just keep thinking of all the times in the manga where it's just like sudden gore, like Vegeta killing the Cybermen, that part with Android 19 and 20, Gohan fucking ripping the Cell Juniors into tiny bloody pieces.
Yeah, no, like the manga, yeah, especially in the manga, because like the manga just. It'll go so long without, like, any type of real visceral violence, and all of a sudden, like, oh, look, there's a Cyberman's head split open and his brain's hanging out. Shit. Ugh. Or, like, Goku kicking Drum's eyeball out of his fucking head and crushing his skull.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oof. Yeah, like, yeah.
I still never liked the first time I ever saw that scene. Like it was when I fucking bought that box set of the anime, and just Goku like kicks his eyeball out of the socket. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Holy shit! Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like, Fist of the North Star was like before Dragon Ball, and that did that. Like, that would always just have like gore in the, like you'd see everybody's heads explode, but.
Thing is, though, it didn't, though. Like, they actually censored the gore in Fist of the North Star for the anime.
Oh, well,
Like
I mean, I'm not talking about the anime. I'm saying, like, the manga is in, like, the reason why,
no,
it's
that
acceptable
was
for
always a thing.
Toriyama to put in gore in the manga, because, like, I mean, in Shonen Jump, they're used to that.
Right? Yeah, no, it's just it's not like absurd for them to do that. It's just that it does create this weird kind of like just where like all of a sudden tonally it's just like wow, that was a lot more violent than this series has been for quite a while, and then it just kind of goes back to the more PG-13 violence. Until it suddenly jackknifes into hard R-rated violence and then goes back to being PG to PG-13.
Yeah, but anyway, so then, Goku
Episode
gets
60.
pissed off and he fights Tao, and Tao just totally wrecks him.
Fucking wrecks his shit. So, okay, in the anime, this fight's actually a good bit longer, because in the manga, it's not even a fight. It is Tao kicks Goku then retaliates with a Kamehameha, and Tao just, blocks it and then retaliates with a Dodonpa. Okay, so in the anime, though, I actually kind of like how they did it, where, like, he kicks Goku, and then Goku kind of, like, is, like, kind of almost, like, using his lack of height to his advantage to, like, try to, like, get at Tao's feet and, like, try to use that to his advantage, and he just can't, like, get Tao at all. And then, like, when he goes to, like, fly up at Tao's face, Tao just... One of the coolest moments is just... He just kind of flicks his head and, like, whips Goku with his fucking ponytail and knocks him right back down to the ground. That was great. Cool. And then... Yeah, and then, like, Goku's, like, trying to, like, reach for his feet and Tao's just kind of, like, stepping backwards and... Yeah, it's a cool one-sided fight.
I think what I liked about the anime making this longer is, like... The fact that like he having like Goku gets hit and then he keeps getting up and he gets hit and keeps getting up, it makes you think that Goku might actually win. Mm-hmm. When like obviously like in the manga it's so quick, it's just like it clearly communicates no, Goku didn't stand a chance. But in the anime it's like they think that like maybe Goku will actually win, and so that it just kind of makes his eventual loss kind of feel like pretty shocking. I mean like this is essentially the first time that Goku loss. He's flat out lost a fight. Because there was a guy who was just flat out stronger than him. Like,
yeah.
I mean, okay, like, technically Jackie Chun won that fight, but, like, Goku was getting the upper hand with Jackie Chun. Yeah, Goku was getting the upper hand with Jackie Chun, like, all the time, and he kept getting better, and it was like, he was, like, one-upping him, like, like, in all of his techniques and stuff. It was just, like...
And here, it's so one-sided. Goku can't land a hit. Fucking Tao just, like I said, like, when he whips him with his friggin' ponytail of all things to drop him back down to the ground. It's just like, and Goku's like, you see like Goku really feels like there's like a lot of energy in that fight, where Goku just really feels like he's just going at Tao with everything he has. And just, Tao is just, and I love the fact that like, even though they elongated the fight, they don't, like, make it look like Tao's struggling. Like, they don't undersell Tao. Like, Tao still feels like this impossible mountain to pass for Goku. Like Goku never really... Like, yeah, like, you think, like, maybe Goku's gonna pull something out and, like, get one up on him. There's that possibility. But, like, then whenever you think about that fight, you go... Yeah, no, like, he just dominated that entire fight. Like, at no point did Goku land a hit on him. At no point did Goku able to grab him. Tao, just brushes him off like he's nothing. Yeah, it's a really good, like, little one-sided fight. Like, I really enjoyed that.
And yeah, so like even then, it's like Goku tries the Kamehameha, like whips it out pretty early on. It's like that's his special attack, and so is this like the first...
his big signature move, his thing that he uses to deal with stuff, and just nothing. Just Tao tanks it.
I'm just thinking this is the first time I think Bouillon could tank a Kamehameha, but like that didn't really feel like anything. Here, like I said, this is like
a guy. This is a human. This is a regular flesh and blood guy. So it's not a robot. It's not a monster.
Yeah, this is when we start getting to those kinds of tropes that you sort of see in Dragon Ball Z, that Dragon Ball's kind of known for, is that Goku does the big attack that normally always works, and then he just, like, the smoke clears and he's just sitting there. I mean, his clothes are actually damaged, which is probably like one of the few times that kind of happens. I mean, no, you actually know the heroes get clothing damage, but not to the extent of Tao, probably for actual reasons. But anyway, it's like, it is that, oh my god, it's the Kamehameha, didn't get him? no, he survived it. How?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm just acting like a
the
DBZ peanut gallery character right now.
right. Yeah, just that's fine. Just yeah, just Tao just completely tanks it. I do love the fact that like him getting his clothes torn up is a plot point. That actually has like narrative relevance.
Like, it's a bit of a weird plot point when we get to it, but yeah, it's like it's an important part of the story, basically. But
It is.
yeah, and so not only does he do the Kamehameha, he's just almost essentially pretty much just kind of almost not necessarily sends it back at him, but sends his own special attack, the Dodonpa, which is like
the fact that
a beam. Like
we have another special technique. Like this is like. Because up until this point, we've only ever seen the Kamehameha, and we've only, like, the only characters we've ever seen, shoot ki is Goku and the Muten Roshi. And now here we have this new guy who, fires a beam just out of his fingers, has, like, his own unique attack that he uses. That was fucking cool, Gabby!
I mean, it does sort of raise the question as to kind of, like, almost like, where did he come from? Why wasn't he in the Tenkaichi Budokai kind of thing? Like, the next arc actually gives a pretty good answers for it, so it's like, I can't really criticize it, but, maybe for people watching it at this point, it might have actually felt like, it's sort of like, if the strongest military organization, even the strongest guys, like Goku could beat them, but this random assassin is like league stronger than all of them. Like, what the hell is up with the world? Like, I do actually think that the rest of the story does a very good job of explaining what the hell is up with this world. But that's just something I feel like it's kind of like you kind of think about it.
Also, now that you mention it, kudos to Toriyama for actually thinking to go back and, kind of flesh out the Tao plot line and kind of smooth out the universe that he was creating. I don't know if it necessarily...
I don't know if it's necessarily because he felt like Tao needed more backstory or whatever, but it's retroactively, it does explain what is Tao, why Tao, where the hell did he come from, and why doesn't anybody know about this? It gets to the point, once you get to the later parts of the series, you totally understand why normal human beings just use guns, but then there are, just some random guys who can just shoot ki, but just some people. It makes sense.
Okay, so Dodonpa drops Goku, Tao steals the Dragon Balls, the bag of Dragon Balls, and takes off to a tailor because he needs to get his clothes fixed. And Red's just like, hey, what the fuck? You left a Dragon Ball behind. And he's just like, oh, well, shit. He's like, well, I killed the kid. It's like, okay, well, then we'll just go get the Dragon Ball. Which, this is all filler, actually. Because in the manga, it goes Red being like, you left a fucking Dragon Ball behind. He goes, well, shit. In 3 days after I get my new clothes, I'll go and get I'll go ahead and get that. And here, Red's just like, fuck it, if the kid's dead, we'll just have someone pick it up. Which I feel like that actually kind of makes a little bit more sense.
That does make sense. Yeah, if they want the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, because I could see, that to me just makes way more sense of, well, if the kid's dead, yeah, fuck it, just send a soldier over there to go get it. You have them all over the place, before someone else walks up and takes the damn thing. So, yeah, a Red Ribbon Army soldier shows up and tries to steal the ball from Goku, and Goku, wakes up. And he's just like, oh shit, the kid's awake! And then Goku kills that guy too.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, yeah, great. Another guy that Goku just murdered for no reason.
I mean, at least you can't, blame it, on the filler, though. Oh man, the filler's totally misrepresenting Goku's character. It's like, no, he already Stone Cold killed a couple of people. This is not out of character for him at this point.
I know. Yeah. Anyway, the one thing I actually wanted to mention about this whole thing, well, I think, we're going to see more of it later on, but so Upa. We haven't really talked about Upa, yes. And that's because, honestly, he doesn't really do
There's
much.
Nothing to talk about.
But I feel like, but as in, I feel like Toriyama was trying to do something with Upa, as in, having Upa be kind of the kid who was sort of like, oh, I wish I was stronger. Look at all these strong guys who can do all this cool stuff, but I'm just a weak, helpless kid and I can't do anything. But then he gets inspired by Goku, because we kind of see this in that, like, here we see, like, Upa is trying to, like, he's like, he sees Tao just, like, leaving, and he's just, like, he tries to throw a rock at him, and then Tao just blows back the rock at him, and it hurts Upa even more. Like, trying to hurt Tao ends up with him getting hurt because he can't do anything, and it turns to, like, this is this kind of almost, like, audience surrogate, like, I'm completely powerless, what can I personally do? Random, eye-level character. What can I do against this guy who is doing terrible things? And then Goku's gonna help me. That kind of thing. I feel like that's the intention.
Okay, so the fact that you just brought up the fact that, like, that Upa has clearly this whole thing of, like, I want to be strong one day. I'm gonna be inspired by Goku. It's kind of interesting that now that you brought that up, that Upa never returns.
Yeah.
Like, you think, like, you think, like,
well.
You think, like, like the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai rolls around, and look, older Upa's here, and he's a fighter now, too. And he's gonna, like, job out to Piccolo or something.
This is what we call a dropped plot line.
Yeah, it's just, like, it honestly feels like that should have led to something, and just, nope.
Maybe it's because Toriyama realized that Upa was really boring, and actually maybe he doesn't really want to do that. Probably. That's most likely what it is. It's not this, like, oh no, because Upa's just a human being and he can't be strong enough. No, it's probably just because Toriyama couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, no, just, like, maybe he had an idea, and then he just changed his mind or just forgot about it. Because, Toriyama just kind of makes this up as it goes. He's just like, I'll set up this character, and then I can use him later, and then he just fucking forgot. But yeah, so Goku is... he's like, we find out that the 4-star ball saved his life. It was in his shirt, and it took the blast of the Dodonpa, and that's why it didn't kill him. Which is a clever thing. That makes sense.
Yeah, like there's an actual reason as to why he survived this. That isn't just, oh, he's just Goku and Goku can do that. Which, to be honest, it is something that is like the entire series is plagued with a lot of just like, oh, and Goku, don't worry, this is a really big thing, but Goku survived it because he's just Goku, and there's no explanation.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, they're definitely not going to be this creative in the future. Hell,
they weren't this creative in the past.
True. You got me there.
Like I was gonna say, I'm sorry, I just want to go on a tangent here, but like I get really annoyed when people are just like, Dragon Ball Z is just so much worse because it's just so much stuff where it's just like Goku is just always strongest and always wins for no reason. I'm just like, dude, have you seen, like, early Dragon Ball? Early Dragon Ball is even worse in terms of just Goku managing to do crazy things because he's Goku and there's no explanation. Like, if anything, Dragon Ball Z tries to make it more grounded.
What was it? Like, I remember, like, one of my big things, like, whenever people, like, when GT comes up in a conversation, people go, it's, like, I hate GT because it's Goku time. I'm like, did you watch the original Dragon Ball? Because the only character who matters in the original Dragon Ball is Goku. Nobody really does anything of value other than Goku. Goku is the one that everybody waits for to show up and kick the ass of the big villain. Like, Dragon Ball, original Dragon Ball is Goku time.
Yeah, it's not even kick the ass of the big villain, just do anything. Like, Goku is the only one who does anything in this arc.
Yeah.
And, like, okay, I'm the one who says Goku time is not bad if you give reasons for it, and it does things, and, there are other characters, even if they don't necessarily do something, do actually kind of develop and grow as people. When there is none of that, then it's just Goku beating guys, and why do I really care if he's not learning anything from it, and he's just breezing through it all, which is part of the Red Ribbon Army. So, this, that, and, there's issues with it, but, yeah. I'm sorry, that's just my pet peeve. People just, like... people just kind of assume that, like, Dragon Ball Z is where it got shit because Toriyama ran out of ideas and he loves Goku too much, started writing his dick.
Gabby, I feel... Okay, I'm going to say right now that, like, you are not speaking for the majority of Dragon Ball fans at the moment because the majority of fucking people who watch Dragon Ball think Dragon Ball is okay at best and are fucking Z fans. Dragon Ball Z is the popular word. In the circles we hang out with, Dragon Ball is... more highly revered than the Z portion
Okay.
in the circles we associate with. In our friends group, like within the circles that we associate with, yeah, we see a lot of, Dragon Ball is when things were better and Z is when things started getting worse. Outside of that, like the fandom at large would harshly disagree with us.
Well, as in, like I feel like isn't also, but like the reason that the fandom like hates Dragon Ball is a different reason, though. Like, isn't like, oh, Dragon Ball's too lighthearted, there's not enough of a story. Or like, it's too lighthearted and it's too goofy. Like, that's why people don't like Dragon Ball. It's not necessarily because, like, there's just too much Goku in Dragon Ball, in early Dragon Ball, and not enough of anything else. Like, not even character development sort of thing.
So this just reminded me of a great story. While I was at work reading the manga during my lunch break, I was talking to my manager about Dragon Ball. And he was just like, oh yeah, like my manager was saying, it's like, yeah, like, what is it with people who keep skipping Dragon Ball and just jumping straight to Z? Fuck those people. Like, he was outright just, like, condemning those people. He was just like, he was talking about, like, he had, like, a friend that was telling another friend to, like, skip straight to Z because that's when it gets good. And he told us, it's like, no, don't fucking listen to him. Like, you need Dragon Ball. You need to see the original Dragon Ball so that we have context for all of these characters, so that way it means something when you actually get to Z, damn it.
And you get to actually be disappointed when all the Dragon Ball characters stop doing things.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, something I wanted to bring up. The Dragon Ball that saves Goku's life. First off, I love the fact that it is the 4-star ball. Like, it is the Dragon Ball that he just found. Like, it is his grandfather's ball, the one he's been searching for. So it's like it's a nice connection that, like, that it's his grandfather's ball that saved his life. Also, this is the first time, I think since, like, the Pilaf arc, he's actually referred to the 4-star ball as his grandpa. Because he says, Grandpa saved me.
In the filler? In that filler?
Yeah,
at the start of the Red Ribbon Army,
there's a filler.
he does.
There's one,
yes.
Yeah. There's one filler scene in the beginning of the Red Ribbon Army arc where he calls it his grandpa. But, like, halfway, I think, like around, like, the 2/3 point of the Pilaf arc, he just stops calling it his grandpa and just starts calling it the 4-star ball. And here, like, filler notwithstanding, this is the first time, like, he's actually referred to that Dragon Ball as his grandpa specifically. I thought that was just an interesting thing, like, and I like the fact that he says it just because, like, the phrase, like, Grandpa saved me. It was a nice moment. It's a good scene.
Yeah, no, like it feels like it's kind of, like, symbolic in a way. It's almost just like, it's almost like his grandpa was almost, like, watching over him, like, as he's been searching for him, and so he saved him even though he's dead. And it's like it feels like it has a meaning to it.
Also, it's gonna be nice whenever, like, as we know later on, Grandpa Gohan is going to show up, so that's going to be really cool later.
It's going to be fun.
And that actually directly ties into these events because they're doing that to wish Bora back. But anyhow, Goku decides to climb Karin Tower, and he's just climbing the tower, and Red calls Tao, and he's just like, "Yeah, what the fuck, bro? Son Goku's still alive, and he like killed a dude." And Tao being like, "Fine, fuck it, I'll go grab the Dragon Ball myself then." I'll do it in 3 days once my fucking clothes are made. And that's basically the end of just Goku climbs the tower. There's a lot of filler of him climbing the tower. But it's good stuff. I think it's
like
nice.
I was gonna say, like, it kind of there's what, like, one really significant thing about this is that, like, in fact, the part that feels so significant, I feel like it was almost a little bit overdone in the anime, is that, like, so then Goku decides, he just makes a decision. He's like, okay, I'm going to collect the Dragon Balls and then use it to wish Bora back to life, wish his dad back to life. Which is like, really? You can do that? It's like, I'm sure Shenlong can do it. And so, he actually, for the first time, at this point, after how many arcs, how long this arc has been going on for, Goku actually has something to wish for, actually has a reason to be collecting these things. And heck, also, the other thing that's so great about this, I love about it, is that, so, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go and get the Dragon Balls then. I'm not, like, the moment he gets his grandpa's Dragon Ball, the thing he wanted, he's like, he now has a reason to get them all, to get a wish. And then he's just kind of like, but I need to beat that Tao Pai Pai stole them, or the other one, so I need to get them. And I can't beat him. And so, basically, Upa's just like, then climb the tower and see if you can get stronger from there. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. And I'm just like, so we are at episode 60, and this is essentially the first time in the entire series where there is a reason why Goku is getting stronger.
Oh, like he has like an actual motivation to do it.
Yeah, like an
just
actual reason as to why he wants to get stronger, other than just, oh yeah, no, he just, that's what he likes doing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, no, this is the first time where he's really had any kind of motivation in this arc. Because before he was just solely motivated to get the 4-star ball. I do like the fact that the moment he gets the 4-star ball, they give him a motivation. Because it's like I like how all this stuff ties together. Like the 4-star ball, he finds it. It's the thing that saves his life. And now also, like, you know, in that same confrontation, Bora dies. So now he has a motivation to collect all 7 so he can wish Bora back. This whole thing, like, oh my god. Like, it is amazing just how much, like, more interesting this arc has become since, like, the moment Tao shows up. Like, I never, like, you and I were talking about, like, Tao Pai Pai, please save us.
Please save us,
save us from boredom.
From the padding, yeah.
Like, and, like, that's the thing, like, there's still padding, there's still filler, but I feel like it's been good. Like, you know, it's been more interesting.
There's like a
more
reason.
going
like,
on.
Things are things are happening to people. Characters are developing. We are introduced to characters who are interesting, and some characters who aren't so interesting. But that's just you can't win everything. But you know, things are happening. I feel like things are happening. It's not just like it's not back in Penguin Village where I'm just like, who has the Dragon Balls now? Why is Goku even there again? What's going? Why do I care? Here I'm like, no, I know why, and it's very simple reasons, because it's very simple things that are happening. Hey, there was a strong guy showed up. He killed this guy. He took the Dragon Balls. I have to get stronger to beat him. Like, it's so simple. But I can understand what's going on. I have a reason to care. Like, I mean, to do the devil's advocate thing, because I can't just completely praise everything, because that way we'd be too would be annoying or something. I don't know. We'd be fanboys.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we bitched enough about ropes that we're allowed to shower praise, but you can continue.
I mean, yeah, but it's just like, the one thing is just so, like, the anime clearly realizes that, decides that Goku deciding to actually, you know, wish on the Dragon Balls and wish for somebody else's benefit is a really big deal. So much so that they just have Goku staring and thinking about Bora, and thinking about that for a very long time, including putting in flashbacks, and also putting in flashbacks to scenes of Bora where Goku wasn't actually there. So I don't know why they're putting that scene in, because it's clearly not from Goku's perspective, because he wasn't there. So, you know, it's like, I feel like if they just done like one scene or like two, it'd be okay. But like they just kept doing it and having like different angles of Goku just staring solemnly, and it's like, yeah, you're going a bit, you're doing this a bit too much. This is a bit overdone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I can agree. Like, the whole memory montage thing goes on a little too long. And you are right. Like, yeah, they're sitting there showing things that Goku wasn't even there for. So yeah, that was dumb.
But yeah, so it's like, yeah, Goku climbs this tower. He has a reason for it. He has a motivation for it. Like, and heck, it even ties into the Dr. Slump stuff, because it's like, ironically, it's almost like seeing Arale is kind of like what, like, motivates his desire to suddenly get stronger as well, because he's seeing, hey, there are people stronger than me out there in the world, including that robot girl, so that's fun as well. But yeah, and he's climbing the tower, and it's kind of like, at the same time, we just have, like, Goku climbing the tower, Upa sort of like, you know, wishing Goku good luck. We've got like Tao waiting for its clothes to be done. We've got Red just sort of sitting there waiting for the Dragon Balls to be gathered. It's just kind of like, it's almost like this like standoff. It's like all of the players are here. You know, the pieces are set for this story, and we know what everyone is doing in this story. We just need to wait for the things to happen and for everything to come together at the end, and we have this big eventual face-off that's going to happen. And I actually can't remember how the big eventual face-off goes, so I feel like it might have been a little bit underwhelming. I don't remember, but yeah, it's like, we have an actual story here. It's not just a series of things that are happening for no reason. It's an actual story. God.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like you know, the story now has focus, it has forward momentum. It's like I said, like, I love how everything just kind of sets everything up. Like, Bora, his death, like the introduction of Tao, Bora's death, like stealing 3 of the 4 Dragon Ball. Tao's torn clothes, that gives him 3 days. That gives Goku now 3 days to climb the tower, to train with Karin, and become stronger. Like, just, like, all of these pieces working together, and it's great. Like, this is super cool, and I'm, like last fucking podcast, I was just, fucking end. Now I'm, like, back into this, and I'm like, yes, awesome, this is cool, I'm excited. This is, like, the most excited I have been this entire arc. Tao Pai Pai was the savior that we needed.
It's like, who thought all you really needed to do was have an actual story and not just Goku beating up a bunch of people because he felt like it. What do you know?
Yeah, no, but...
Speaking,
like, yeah. I mean, like, I've been pretty defensive of, like, like the adventure element of it, but yeah, like, it was just, like, and then Goku goes to another place and fucks up some guys, and Goku goes to another place and fucks up some guys. And, like, I do like the variety in locales. I really like Blue as a character, but... fuck, like the fact that the story actually has some sort of focus to it now, I'm like, yes, awesome.
And now I'm just wondering, why did it take you so long? What have you been doing this whole time, if it was this easy?
Maybe Toriyama had no clue what the hell to do with the story arc.
I mean, it's most likely that as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, he was just like, I want to do a, I want to do a, like a Game of Death parody. So then he did the Game of Death parody, or reference, or whatever you want to call it. And then he's just like, I'm going to have a gay Nazi. And then he didn't know what the fuck to do with the gay Nazi with psychic power. So then he fucking brought in Senbei and Arale, and just made a fucking Dr. Slump reference. And then he was just like, okay, I think I got an idea now.
I mean, I think what probably happened was sort of like, maybe he just decided he didn't want to necessarily leave the 4-star ball to be the very last one to collect, because that'd be too obvious. But at the same time, that means once he gets the 4-star ball, there needs to be a good reason as to why he doesn't just F off until the Red Ribbon Army are destroyed. So then he comes up with this whole Bora thing, and somebody dying, and him going to use Shenlong, to get a wish for somebody else. And, like, I feel like it doesn't necessarily all come together, because, like, nothing about Bora has really anything to do with, like, anything else that he'd been doing previously, and even a lot of the stuff that happens afterwards. But, I think it works.
Yeah. I mean, it's all good. It's like, it works. It's functioning.
I think that's a good time to go to comments.
Alright, let's check out the comments. And this one's on your episode, or last episode that you did from... So this is 2 podcasts ago, episodes 49 through 52.
Yep. Okay, so the first one I thought was most interesting that I want to answer is from Cody Stork, who said, Gabby, if you had a chance to do a con panel, what would you do it on? Is it like con, is it like, convention, Kamea-con? We were talking about Kamea-con in this podcast, so yeah. And he's saying, Xeon, what other topic would you like to do a panel on? So for me, I have 2 ideas for a con panel, at least in terms of, like, things that are, like, realistic that I could do, and also, like, realistic as in, like, maybe people would be interested, maybe. The most realistic one, I think, I would totally be down to doing a Gohan panel. Not like a, let's talk about how awesome Gohan is panel, but, like, actually just talking about, like, the whole fan thing, and basically just, like, having a panel just basically, like, titled, like, what happened to Gohan? And me basically explaining in, like, 45 minutes that, like, the short answer is Toriyama changed his mind. The long answer is this. This is why I think it happened like this. Here are some problems. Here's what happened to Gohan after the series was over. Here's what might potentially happen to him in the future. Here's what I want. Here's what everybody else wants. Now that we've had this discussion, we can gush about him if we want, or argue, or talk about who's his best dad, or whatever. That's my one idea, just because, like, that feels like out of anything, that's almost like my area of expertise, inverted commas, this one specific fictional character in Dragon Ball, who only in, like, the last, like, 2/3 of the series, but still. The other thing that I kind of want to do, but I don't think I'm going to do, is actually do a Women in Dragon Ball panel. Like, actually talk about the female representation and all of the female characters and, the issues with some of the characters, why weren't some of them fighters? Why were they fighters? Why were the whole Japanese thing? Like, why are they it feels like everybody settles down once they get married. Why is Videl versus Popovich really kind of messed up if you think about the greater implications of what it sends to that story and her character? But I don't think I'm going to do that panel because, being at a convention with nerds and then talking about female representation and talking about how it might not necessarily be perfect, it is just a place for ignorant people and people who would just, say feminism is not real and, that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, one, fuck those people, they're stupid. Two, anyone who would actually show up to that panel, I feel like would be interested in it. Nobody's gonna show up just to heckle you. Because, they literally can't. They're not allowed to.
It's just essentially, if somebody did, I wouldn't know how to deal with that. Because I would not be expecting it. And I don't know how to deal with people in real life, because you can't block people in real life. Somebody will say, look, this shows that Gabby's such a coward or whatever. But yeah, no. If some dude gets really confrontational with me in real life and says, you're the reason that's wrong with Dragon Ball because you're an SJW and you're making everything worse and, you're the one thing that's wrong with society that way. I don't know how to respond to that other than, I don't believe it, but if they are just so inflamed and upset over it because they've read on the internet hearing that SJWs are bad and talking about feminism is bad and toxic masculinity and how dare you ever say anything might change about the fiction that you like because it might be offensive to some people. I don't know what to do there. This is legitimate, actual, personal concerns that you guys are hearing here, which is probably the reason why I don't think I'm doing this panel.
Yeah, see, I would love to do that panel. I'm not the right gender for that.
Yeah,
because that needs to be a woman. I feel like that needs to be a woman talking about that. Because I have my own personal gripes with the lack of strong female representation in Dragon Ball and just the representation in general and how women get treated in Dragon Ball. I have plenty to say about that. But if anyone's going to do a panel on it, it should not be me. The idea of having some white guy. Well, no, not really a white guy. Some guy going around and saying, I think the women should be treated like this is why this is not good for women. I, as a dude, am telling women what is a good representation and what's not good representation. That's kind of no. I think the best case scenario would be if I managed to get other girls in that panel, if we did a kind of roundtable discussion thing and you had a few different females there and maybe people who actually know how to deal with that. Yeah, maybe Lucia or something. Let's say Lucia would straight up tell someone to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Lucia, maybe Olympia or something. She'd be, I don't know. I didn't think about asking her, but that could be cool as well if she's not, but she's actually not, never mind. Olympia would probably be busy anyway. But, just I don't know, Aaron, somebody,
I'm about to say, I think you, Lucia, and Aaron could probably have a really good panel on that topic. I think that would be great.
I mean, that's assuming that I don't just invite Aaron to my Gohan panel instead.
She could be at both. Come on.
Oh yeah. It could be like AJ and Tyson and Olympia, where they were just in each other's panels the whole time.
Yeah, I think the whole discussion idea, I am so behind the idea of this panel because I think that's a really good discussion topic, and I think that it's something that's kind of meaningful and just. In the fact that if you could get other people involved, if you could get, Lucia and Aaron involved, and you guys just have, a 3-way discussion all talking about that for, 45 minutes, I think it would make for a really good panel.
Just so you know, if this actually ends up happening, you can hear, you heard it first. These are our proper discussions as to what we're going to be doing. And, we're legitimately coming up ideas here while recording for the Dragon Cast. The Dragon Cast is a very valuable source of information if you guys care about our daily activities.
Right. So yeah.
What about your con panels?
Okay, so obviously I did the GT apologist panel because that's the thing. Because I'm me, I feel weird just doing something that's straight serious. I'm gonna sit here and be educational. No, I gotta make jokes. I gotta be kind of sarcastic a bit. I gotta kind of punch it up a little bit. and make it entertaining.
Whereas
or
I
as
can't do
entertaining as I
jokes,
can.
basically. I can't make a
Yeah,
joke.
no,
I
like-
have to talk seriously.
Yeah, like honestly, like my next panel, because like I already have two panels for next KamehaCon. I'm doing the GT panel again, except I'm going to be altering things, new information, just different, like some different points. I'm going to streamline a lot of it. I'm going to probably end up scripting the majority of it, and it's probably going to have more jokes, honestly, because I do want it to be entertaining for people. The other one is the other one that I was talking to Danny about was doing a kind of the canon of Dragon Balls, very specifically talking about what is canon, like what canon is historically, how it's been used, how people tend to use it with Dragon Ball, how it doesn't really apply, and how Dragon Ball doesn't really have a canon. I like at some
real
point I might end
canon
up changing
is
that one.
the real canon is the napkin script.
Right? Yeah. Like it's like, but
It's
honestly,
the bar
like I
napkin.
may
we
not.
need to find the bar
yeah,
napkin, guys. We need to find the bar napkin.
Right? Yeah. We need to find those original Toriyama Arby's napkins with his Sharpie scribbles on them.
I think actually, somebody made a shitpost on Kandanshu once where it's just like, we need to find the documents. Where are the documents?
Right. So, but yeah, like that's kind of like I'm sitting there still trying, because like I don't really know if I could really fill out a full 45 minutes worth of good panel with that topic, and I kind of would like to do something a little bit more deconstructive. So I might end up doing something else. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure out, but like I know I'm currently scheduled for 2 panels at next KamehaCon. So yeah, like I said, I'm doing the GT panel again. I want to talk about canon and continuity because it's something that I feel is a worthy discussion topic, but like I said, I'd rather do something a little bit more deconstructive and analytical for a panel. So I might come up with some different topics because I've been kicking around a few different ideas. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I got planned. And honestly, if you guys want to see Gabby do a Women in Dragon Ball roundtable panel, you should totally comment that below, because I know I want to see that, and she won't listen to me.
It's not that I don't listen to you. It's just I'm not very I don't like being confrontational. So I don't know what to do when I do something that's kind of controversial. Like on the internet, like when I did that Vegeta thing, I did that on your channel because I mean you're controversial. I don't have to deal with any of that backlash. Not really. I don't know what to. I'm shy and nervous. Okay, it's bad enough the first KamehaCon.
I have seen you tell people to go fuck themselves on the internet.
That was one time.
One time that the whole world saw that Danny
one
will
time
not let
I'm
anyone.
never gonna live it down. No.
Nope, because that was your shining moment. That was just one of those, just like, I'm so proud of her right now. I'm sorry, that was just one of the greatest things you've ever done. Like you could make the greatest video of your entire YouTube career. I will still say your greatest moment was telling that one guy to go fuck himself on Twitter. So, next question. I got one here from Danny Wave. What's your favorite arc of Dragon Ball Z, GT, and Super? By the way, 9 Weeks of Peace counts, but it needs to be an official arc of the series. And also, I know you enjoyed the podcast. So, I don't know if he wants us to name a single arc out of all 4 shows, or to name an arc from each show.
I don't. Yeah, now that you're saying it like that, I'm actually not. I think he just like the way he's got Dragon Ball Z, GT, and Super. Like I feel like he's saying one for each, and that's what other people reply.
Yeah, because it says like your favorite arc of, and then because it is Dragon Ball Z, GT, and Super. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and go with that. So Gabby, what are your favorite arcs for each series?
I mean, Dragon Ball. I don't watch it as much, so I don't really know. It's probably either Piccolo Daimao or 23rd. I feel like. but I'm not entirely
Okay.
sure. I think I like 22nd as well, but now I'm not sure once again as well. I don't. I'm honestly not as familiar with the tournament stuff to really sort of say. Z, Cell, sorry, dudes, sorry.
Oh, come on.
I'm,
When are you
I'm
going
gonna
to
go.
apologize?
Yeah, no, I know.
You always follow that with an apology. Like, it's like, okay,
I apologize because Lance has been shitting on it for the last like 2 months.
yeah, and you know what? Lance and I are in the damn minority when it comes to people not
Yeah,
liking that
but you're
art. Like,
but,
a
but
lot
you're
of
the
people
but you're the
love that art.
majority. But you're the majority when it comes to people whose opinions I respect.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, to be fair though, you're in the majority of people's like opinions that I respect.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, like I'm a Gohan stan anyway, so whatever. Actually, yeah, no, my favorite, because yeah, like my favorite part of Dragon Ball is like the Great Saiyaman stuff. Basically everything
Yeah.
up until, arguably even up until when Vegeta sacrifices himself, it's all like, wow, actually really good, holy shit. But that's not the whole Boo arc, so I can't say the Boo arc.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, like my favorite chunk of the series, this has been pretty consistent. Everything from the end of Cell to the beginning of Boo. That interphase period. And yeah, it's also the period where Gohan is the main character, but I don't think that's the only reason why I like it.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's definitely not. I can give
I mean,
reasons.
it's a good chunk of the show, that's for damn sure. But yeah, so your antidote for arcs is the Cell arc.
Yeah, okay. GT, I guess, Baby, because Baby has the most narrative meat to it, and has most interesting, like,
It's the
stories
only
to
one
it.
that's a real arc. Yeah,
I
it's the
mean,
only
yeah,
thing
like
that,
like the
really had
the Shadow
that's
Dragons like
consistent.
is a neat concept, but half of them are boring as shit. So most of them are boring as
Yeah.
shit. So yeah, and Super is probably still Universe Survival Arc. Like it's more flawed, but it's infinitely more entertaining. And it just like it just like captures that like spirit of like I'm legitimately interested in watching every episode. The Future Trunks arc kind of doesn't once the whole like mystery has been revealed. And yeah, that's essentially me.
Okay. So for me, it's Dragon Ball Piccolo Daimao. It's probably my favorite arc in the entire franchise. I won't know until like I go back and revisit it because
Yeah,
honestly,
I honestly haven't felt
like
like I had to have opinions on a lot of these arcs until I actually, in depth went into this stuff with the Dragon Cast.
yeah, and like I mean I've watched these arcs enough times, but yeah, like the Piccolo Daimao arc, I really like that arc. But I haven't seen it in forever, so now I'm like, well, shit, maybe, like, cause like Red Ribbon Army, I thought Red Ribbon Army was gonna rank a lot higher for me. Like, I think I used to have Red Ribbon Army as like my second or third favorite arc, and now I'm like, maybe it's like more in the middle now. But yeah, like, so Piccolo Daimao is my favorite Dragon Ball arc. For Z, Saiyan arc, all day long. I fucking love the Saiyan arc. In fact, like I'm really kind of like it's kind of a toss up at this point. Like by the time we get to the end of the Saiyan arc, like I don't know if that's going to end up usurping the Piccolo Daimao arc as just my favorite arc overall because I feel like it's going to end up being one of those two by the time we get done with this. GT Baby arc, obviously, like I am a huge like every time I ever bring up like defending GT, I always bring up Baby. I think he's a great villain. I think he has an interesting story. Like that whole narrative I thought was really cool and that they do a lot of creative stuff there. Really kind of lame ass ending to it, like the way he dies, but whatever. Everything else was really good and I really like that arc and it's the only arc in GTA I would say is like legitimately a good arc. Everything else is like that was a cool idea. Wish they had done something with it. And Super okay, obviously I'm gonna say 9 weeks of...
Yeah, I was gonna say, they put it at 9 weeks of peace, and I feel like they put that specifically so you could answer that.
Yeah, like, I mean, 9 weeks of peace, obviously, is what I would go with, because that's my favorite stretch of episodes. But if you guys want an actual arc, like an actual recognized arc of the show, the Future Trunks arc is my favorite arc of Super. Because... Like, I feel the first 2 arcs are complete disposable fluff. They took
No,
2 movies and stretched them out.
nobody even thinks about the movie retellings. Nobody even thinks about Universe 6 because it's so short and so nothing. Like, when you say what's your favorite arc in Super, the question is, do you like the Universe Survival arc more than the Future Trunks arc? Yes, no. That is the question.
Yeah. Man, it's really bad that, like, when the super apologist is basically going, yeah, no, like, the first, like, 30-something episodes of this show don't fucking matter.
Well, I mean, the Universe 6 arc matters, but you can't really judge it on anything because it's just kind of there.
Yeah, no, because there's nothing there. It's a tournament with no stakes and no, like, real character depth or anything. It's not like it led to anything meaningful, because, like, when you compare it to, like, the Budokais, it's not like Goku learned anything. It's not like anyone had like a big character revealing moment. Goku didn't save the world. He fought a guy and then he forfeited the match at the end, and then that guy
it was
forfeited
essentially
his
like
next match.
World building the mini kind of tournament arc, except like
yeah.
I mean, no, it was world because like even though there were some issues, like Hirten, Kaba, and Frost, like their stories did kind of continue on. So
Yeah, for me, like, the Future Trunks arc, I feel like it's really ambitious. Like, the way I always, the way I tend to describe the Future Trunks arc is, it's like the Challenger. It's like rocketing into the sky, shooting for the stars, and then explodes. And, like, it at least aims for something. Like, I don't really like where it ends up going. There's a lot of hiccups it hits along the way. There's a lot of complaints I have about it, but, like, it felt ambitious and like it was really trying to be something and do something. The Universe Survival arc, I feel like it wasn't trying to really do anything narratively. It's just, there's a whole bunch of great episodes in there. Like, there are, like, some of, like, my favorite episodes of Super are in that arc. But there's a lot of that stuff I just don't like. So, and it just goes on for way too long. So yeah, Future Trunks arc for me.
all right.
Okay, do we have any other questions?
Oh, it was just one I thought was pretty good. Shows someone's paying attention. From Didgeridoo says, you said that the Red Ribbon Army joke with no survivors was the weirdest scene, but does that count as weirder than last episode when Turtle was revealed to have a son Taro and Filler?
I mean, okay, like, the Taro joke is weird as in, what the fuck was that? The Red Ribbon Army soldier standing up, who's supposedly dead, to be like, oh, they killed us, sir, we're all dead. Like, that is, like, world-breaking. Like, you broke the show's logic for a moment to do this. You did a Dr. Slump joke before you got to Penguin Village. Like, that
analogy.
is what makes that weird. Like, it's just like, no, guys, that's like one story beat too early. Stop. Like, that shouldn't have happened yet. Like, yeah, no, like, that was just a straight up Dr. Slump joke that they did just before they hit Dr. Slump, and it feels so out of place, especially by, like, how dark, like, the Red Ribbon Army arc gets in a lot of these parts, and just, when people die, they are fucking dead, and then this guy just stands up to be like, oh yeah, sir, this trap fucking killed us. I'm like, what? What the fuck? So, yeah. I'm still gonna say the Talking Dead Red Ribbon Army soldier thing is weirder of a joke than Taro, the son of Turtle.
Also, yeah, so shout outs to Ashley Zenoa, Juggulator95, and the Light Bee, who all got the takoyaki joke, because you guys are all paying attention to KamehamehaCon. That's cool, so there you go.
Yeah. Alright. So, we done?
Yeah, I think I said pretty much everything. A good thing,
that
over
was
2
another
hours,
cast.
yeah, because we got over 2 hours.
Oh shit, of course it is.
Yeah, I blame myself this time for talking too much about the morality of killing people and whether or not that's good, so it was my fault this time.
Yeah. But thing is, though, I feel like that's the kind of discussions that people listen to this podcast for, is whenever we just go off on, like, we take something that's really minute that nobody else would say shit about, and then we just talk about it for 15 minutes straight. I mean, we did that with, what was it, like, Bulma's parents, and, like how it kind of fleshes her character out. Like, I mean, like, we have focused on the weirdest, tiniest things, and I feel like that's part of the appeal of this podcast, is
to all,
just
to all 20 of
finding...
you that actually watch this.
Yep, that's okay. We appreciate all 20 of you, though.
Yeah.
So, Gabby, this one's on your channel, so you have to sign us out.
Oh yeah, so yeah, guys, we'll come back next time eventually. Hopefully, there'll be another video in between this video and the next video if you're just on my channel, because maybe I'll make a video, maybe I won't. It's up to me. It's all up to me, guys. I don't know. So yeah, see y'all.
Bye.
All right. Okay. In terms
Dragon
of
Ball
my group of friends.
Now I'm knocking shit over. Anyhow, I gestured a little too gesturely and just knocked a bunch of shit over. Anyhow, what the hell was I saying?